Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in. I hope everybody had a good weekend. Welcome to the panel. I want to let you guys know from the top that this show is brought to you by the good guys up there at PrizePicks. Appreciate y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it. It was a good weekend in basketball, but we have one main thing to talk about today, and that is essentially what will fix the NBA. Now, it's been a lot of talks that's been going on. Throughout all the media stations. Players have commented on it. And it's rumblings on the street that the NBA product is not as good as it used to be. It's, I guess, factual that the ratings are down. And a lot of people are just slandering today's NBA, in particular, the analytics and the three ball. So, fellas, let's go ahead and dive straight into it. And you guys let me know how you feel about it.
Sure, Miles, I'll start. I think and I've said this in the past, every business is built, their foundation is built on something specific. The league, the NBA, when you turned on the NBA in the 1980s, the face of the NBA, this is what the NBA is. It was Magic. It was Bird. It was that style of play, playing fast, fun, your dirty work guy, and Bird, your hard-nosed guy. That was the NBA. When you turned the NBA on in the 90s, it was this high wire act and Michael Jordan. What we couldn't do is we couldn't make the NBA what the Detroit Pistons were, body slamming a guy to the ground and clotheslining guys. No, that can't be the NBA. So we got to clean that up and we got to make it more fun. We got to make it more charismatic. So we got rid of the bad boys. We make Michael Jordan the face of the league. And that style of play, sharing the basketball, that's the NBA. Then we fast forward and you have the big man and Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant. That's the face of the league. That's the style of play. Then you turn on 2012, LeBron James. That's the face of the NBA. I don't think we have a face of the NBA right now, Ron, and I think that's the biggest problem that we have right now. We don't have anybody to gravitate toward. We don't have anybody that we can latch onto in terms of their game, not just their personality, because that has to matter. They tried to do it with Ja Morant, and Ja Morant proved that, he wasn't ready to take the mantle. They can't do it with Jason Tatum because that style of play is already getting bashed on. Add that to the fact that people don't really look at, he plays for the Celtics, and, he's the good-looking guy, and a lot of people are jealous of that when it comes to him. So they can't really equate him to basketball like that, unfortunately. So I think that we don't have a face of the league yet. And I think once we have a face of the league, which I don't think we've met yet, I feel like once we get a face of the league, somebody that we can gravitate toward, then I think the game is going to change. I feel like the popularity of the game will be back in effect.
See, Chill, that's where we disagree. We've met him.
We've
seen him. We've seen him live and in action. But I'm not going to get into my whole spiel. Mars, I want you to talk about this whole thing.
I think the NBA, I don't think there's a problem, if I'm being honest. I don't really see the issue.
I agree.
But I think Chill's business model of what the NBA has been, if there were a problem, I would say that's probably a major contributor to it. The idea that people aren't watching the NBA because they don't have a singular figure to identify with. I mean, so when they did, they were only watching that one team, or that was the only team they were really watching. I feel like if you're going to have a league of 30 teams and 450 players, you should probably focus on trying to spread the wealth in terms of who you're promoting. Is that Paolo Banchero? Is that Cade Cunningham? Is that Alperen Şengün? Is that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Like, there's so many good teams, good young teams to choose from in terms of promotion, and I think that's what the NBA is doing a bad job of. It's not just about finding the next LeBron James, who I'd assume they would probably market as Wemby, but then I would say they haven't even been promoting what Wemby's been doing in the last 3 weeks, and he's been one of the best players in the NBA. So I don't know what the NBA is doing. All I know is when it was time for them to promote the NBA Cup between OKC and Houston, they did a terrible job of that, and that's two of the best young up-and-coming teams in the West. I believe the NBA is quoted as saying OKC and Houston isn't the marquee matchup that people were hoping for, or something like that.
Now, Mars,
Like,
I still haven't seen that,
that's
but
terrible
I'm having
marketing.
I'm having a difficult time believing that that's true. There's no way
That's
it's like going to a
egregious
restaurant.
marketing.
It's like going to a restaurant going, "Don't eat this."
Like
You can eat this, but don't eat
makes
this.
no sense why like the NBA or the people who work for the NBA would bash the product as much as they do. Like, and I'm focusing mainly on Houston because that's the team like I watch more than anyone. But Charles Barkley saying while we're in the in-season tournament semi-final that we don't know how to play basketball. Like if all you hear as a casual fan, because I guess this is who this is about, not the fans who are going to watch regardless. If all you hear as a casual fan is how bad the product is, at some point you're probably not going to want to watch the product. If everyone who's responsible for promoting the product just tells you how bad the product is compared to how it used to be 20 years ago, that's not going to invite new people to watch the product. So I just feel like the NBA is doing a terrible job of marketing their product. I think they're doing a terrible job of making their game accessible to people. And I think the ratings going down is in large part because of how hard it is to access the game in terms of on TV. I know for people in the US, if the team in your local area is playing, you can't watch them on League Pass. Like they make you jump through all these hoops just to be able to watch a game, and then they wonder why the ratings are going down. And then to add insult to injury, these wonderful websites where you can get like NBA clips and NBA film, now they're being taken down. So like I don't know what the NBA wants people to watch the game, but then they actively try and make it harder for people to watch the game. And now people are trying to act like the reason that people aren't watching the game is because the game itself has flaws, when in reality, this is just, I think it's a flawed business model. I think they've got extremely money hungry, and I understand business is business, but at some point, if you're going to try and kill the accessibility to your product in the pursuit of chasing a few extra dollars, I think like you've probably lost sight of what the actual goal is here. So my biggest problem is how the NBA is being marketed, not the problem on the court per se. So that's my biggest issue.
Now, Ron, if I may really quickly pin.
Go ahead, do your thing.
Mars, you were talking about my business model. Well, my business model, if you think about a restaurant, well, the way you get people in is by getting a dish. Well, once you get that dish on the menu, then now that dish goes out to other people. Now, other people come in and then they see that dish and, well, wait a minute, what else is on the menu? As opposed to I'm marketing a whole bunch of different things. No, once I market this one thing, that's prime example is Ron's main man, Ox. Well, the way Ox found out about Scottie Pippen was through Michael Jordan. He's watching Michael Jordan. Turns out, this is the 6'8" guy that plays with him that's really good. I'm going to start watching him. Well, you find out about Dennis Scott because he plays with Shaq. You find out about Kenny Smith. You find out about Vernon Maxwell because he plays with Olajuwon. So the way you find out about these other guys is by having a face. Once you find out about that face, well, who else is here? And then it becomes a bigger deal than what it is. That's how we found out about the rest of the guys in the NBA, as opposed to just this one guy. And when I say I'm marketing this one guy, I'm marketing this guy as the face. That's not to say that I don't have other things in the league that are good too. No, it's just this one thing that you gravitate toward, and you watch that, and then you find out about the other things, which makes the league more popular because you get yourself more involved with these other guys, in addition to already involving yourself with this person.
Trickle-down marketing is what I'm hearing.
That's the idea.
Okay.
That's the idea.
I mean, maybe, yeah, sure. But I think it starts with not bashing the product any chance you get. If you're working for the NBA or you're on mainstream TV talking about the NBA, and every conversation comes down to how this game is trash compared to 20 years ago, or how this guy will never be as good as this guy from 2001. I think that's probably where
Mars,
we want to start.
I agree with you on that. I think this whole thing is getting blown out of proportion. And Penn and Ox, glad you're here. I want to hear from both of you guys. I'm not going to be long. I just want to say I agree with Mars. And Mars, obviously, we've talked about this a lot. You have a lot of emotion. If you were to come up here and trash Scottie Barnes because he had a bad game last night, and let's say you just went on a crazy rant. Scottie Barnes can't do this. He can't do that. He can't do that. No matter how much pen caps for him. Let's say you just went on one. And it was very convincing. But it was true. And I backed you. And then tomorrow, Ox came in here and backed you. And then he played tomorrow night. And then Chill came in the next morning, Wednesday morning, and trashed them too. And then let's say Stephen A. Smith started doing it. Then Shaq started doing it. And everybody started doing it. People can watch with their own eyes and see that Scotty Barnes is actually nice. But they're going to hear everything that we're saying. And it's nothing that their eyes can convince them. Because we're all saying it, so they're going to believe it.
That's crazy, bro.
That's what I believe it is.
That's crazy.
I think we are what? Basketball is beautiful. Basketball is absolutely beautiful. But we just keep hearing from everybody, oh, the game is this, the game is that, the game is that. So now everybody's convinced that the NBA just needs a solution pill. It needs a quick fix. And
people need to learn how to think for themselves, man. People need to learn how to think for themselves, man. Like I told Chill on Saturday, I don't care what any one of y'all up here tell me. Pineapple belongs on pizza.
No, it doesn't, Ox. No, it does not.
I love this. I love this stuff. And nobody can convince me otherwise.
Disgusting.
Because my taste buds work. You know what I'm saying? You can't. I love pineapple on pepperoni pizza. And if Shaq, Kenny, Ernie, and Chuck get on TNT and tell me, man, you can't put pineapple on pizza. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. I love this stuff. You know what I'm saying? People need to learn how to think for themselves. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I cannot be convinced about anything from these dudes on TNT. If you're watching the game and Shaq doesn't like it, Chuck doesn't like it, Kenny don't like it, what's that got to do with you? I just don't understand their thought process. Why can't we think for themselves?
Well, think about who it's coming from, though, Ox. It's coming from guys who not only played, but played for a long time and are legends in the game. That's who it's coming from. And to say that we don't care about what people think, yes, we do. We're influenced by everybody every day, by the clothes that you wear, by the way you wear your hair. We're influenced every day by that sort of stuff. And if you like basketball, you got into basketball because somebody showed it to you. That's what influenced you. And if I got a guy like Charles Barkley, I got Shaq, or if I got Kenny Smith telling me this game sucks, well, does it really? Does it? Now I don't think that. I don't think the game sucks, but of course, my wheels are going to start turning. I'm thinking, this isn't good for the league if these guys are telling us that the game sucks, not these guys. Now, the casual fan, because you don't really know much about the game, you don't really have that much influence. Charles does. He's the funny fat guy on TV. There's a reason why ratings on Inside the NBA are what they are. They love him. Shaq, he's the star of the show. Kenny Smith, he's the stoic guy. Ernie, he's the W host as opposed to this dude over here. So, with that being said, these guys know the game. And if you're telling me, and if I'm a casual fan and you telling me, yo, this sucks, don't watch this. It's like a restaurant, Ox. You telling me that this restaurant, yo, don't come eat here. This food sucks. Meanwhile, you're a critic. I'm gonna be like, well, should I not? Maybe I shouldn't be eating there. And especially if I'm somebody that's not like into food like that. Maybe I shouldn't be eating. But
I've always been a guy like, yo, try it yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'll try anything twice. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, bro, you should probably go taste that food before you let Kenny knock-kneaded ass tell you anything. You know what I'm saying? Like
even outside of that though, like you might be a regular at the restaurant, and I point out something that I might point out something that A is true, or even say something that's not true, and that might convince you. I might point out, man, they never give me ice with my water. It could be something that simple, and you could be like, well, the spot up the street do that. I'm about to start going over there because they just not. They customer service ain't to that level. Or I might say something as crazy as, yeah, I seen a rat in the kitchen. And I ain't never even been in the kitchen. I'm just hating. Well, I'm telling you how things go though. People say stuff and it influences you, whether it's true or not.
These things are true,
Penny Hardaway's better, or that Jamal Murray's better than Penny Hardaway. It's not true, but it influenced. And then another ball guy might come on capping for him. What?
Right. So, but look, that's so okay. So, but if these things that you said, if they're true things, okay, that can be made an adjustment. If I find out there's rats in the kitchen, like if I find out the refs are cheating and the game's not really what it's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? Things like that, then okay. You know what I'm saying, Ron? That makes perfect sense. But if it's just like, oh, they shoot too many threes, if I'm okay with that, like a lot of fans are. you know what I'm saying, things like that, then why would I stop watching the game? If I love to watch if I love to watch players shoot threes, if I love to watch the Hornets and the Bulls miss 85 threes, why would I care? I'm watching that.
On the hook,
you know what I'm
Ox.
saying?
We already got the reason why, Ox, is
No,
because
but
we
I'm not talking about me. Chill. I'm not talking about me because I'm one of the people that I'm starting to not watch games.
Right.
I'm starting to turn games off in the second quarter.
Why?
So I was on the hook, but they're quickly losing me. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I don't understand how when women's college basketball is on, how can you watch the NBA? I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So
I rewatched the by the way, hello everyone. I rewatched that freaking amazing USC Connecticut game again. Ox, oh my gosh, man. Oh my gosh.
Man, that was a great game.
Shot making galore. The passing, Ox. I mean, oh my gosh. Like Penn, you know, you and I, we love some passing, some backdoor cuts. Man. I'm talking about before the girl was even open, Ron. I'm talking about threw it before she was open and was able to
throw
get
her
it.
open. Did she throw her open?
Threw her open on a backdoor cut. A post big did. Chill. Well, I'm talking about Wilt Chamberlain. So shout out to you. I get it, Ox. I understand.
Shout out to Wilt Chamberlain.
Is my mic better? Is my mic better? You straight?
Yo,
different?
Pin,
Okay, cool.
I want to hear from you and Swipe at you as well. I want to play this LeBron quote first, though, and then we'll hear some other quotes from Adam Silver, Magic Johnson, JJ Redick chimed in on it too. But this is what LeBron had to say, and you guys let me know if you can hear this. All right, here we go.
It had to change. Something had to change. No, I did not. Okay. I was not part of the committee.
He said he didn't like it. I think Book did too.
Everyone has their own opinion.
It's pretty unorthodox.
Yeah, I mean, it's different, you know, in a sense. But I don't know. I don't really have a. We see. We see when we get there. It's different. Obviously, anytime you make some type of change, there's going to be some buck back. I don't know. I mean, I have my ideas of what could possibly work.
That's kind of why, I'd love to get.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
But like coming out of Indiana, when you saw the reaction,
we got to do something. Obviously, the last couple of years have not been a great All-Star game that Sunday night. But I mean, listen, it's a bigger conversation. It's not just the All-Star game. It's our game in general. Our game is it's a lot of fucking threes being shot. So
you contribute to that, sir.
Just an All-Star game.
You've contributed to that, sir. 100% contribute to that.
Let the goat speak. Let the goat speak.
It's just a bigger conversation.
All right, and then Adam Silver followed that up. Ironically, I mean, LeBron has been called the GM. Ironically, he comes out and says that, and then the next day, Adam Silver speaks on the issue as a whole. He said, quote, and I quote, "I will not reduce it to a so-called three-point shooting issue. I think we look more holistically at the skill level on the floor, the diversity of offense, the fan reception to the game, all the above. I think the game is in a great place. I love watching the games, and I think we have some of the most skilled athletes in the world competing, and it's unfair, I think, to the players to lump them into categories as three-point shooters or mid-range shooters or big men playing under the basket. It's an amazing game. We are constantly having discussions about whether there are ways to improve stylistically the game on the floor." So, Pin, talk to me about this thing in a whole, and if you think it's a three-point shooting issue.
I don't think it's a three-point shooting issue because in the women's game, there's a lot of three-point shooting. Who are we watching ascend with the women's game? Was it a typical post player that pioneered the whole thing, or is it a whole bunch of shooters? Right? It's Caitlin Clark taking logo threes. That's what's getting kids involved. But you know, Caitlin Clark ain't getting people involved because she's shooting threes. Y'all remember this? Y'all remember the ring?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's getting people involved. There's a storyline there. Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark was a storyline. You know why it was a storyline? Because someone was willing to be the villain. You can't have Dylan Brooks being the villain of your league. He's not good enough. Mars, close your mouth.
You gave your team 26. No good enough. No good enough.
Y'all almost lost to.
Ooh, put the almost on our record.
But Ken, a lot of people don't think Angel Reese is good enough.
And
When
right.
she is,
But she is a star.
Is.
She's a star. You may not respect her brand of star, but she is a key player. She is a top 7 draft pick. She is, one of the marquee names. You don't have to think Bill Laimbeer is good enough to be the villain to Michael Jordan. You don't have to think that. You don't have to think. It doesn't have to be your 2 best players. It just has to be somebody that people care about, not Dylan Brooks.
So, are you saying that Draymond's villain days have?
Draymond's great for the league. Anthony Edwards is great for the league. Anyone who wants to be themselves is great for the league. The problem is you got a whole bunch of politically correct stars who don't want to ruffle feathers, don't want to lose sponsorships. Half of them aren't available. So when you do have these marquee matchups where, it's one versus the other, everyone's showing up to watch it, and one of them does not show up. So now you got nothing. Because you're marketing the stars, right? You're marketing the stars of the league, and you're not getting head-to-heads. You're not getting the Kawhi versus LeBron. That's a draw. That's a gate. And you're just killing all your best storylines. Here's my issue. Y'all can point to the threes. Y'all can point to the injuries, the load management, all that stuff. You can point to the talking heads having issues with the game. I don't think more censorship is the answer. I don't think telling Chuck, hey, you got to be more positive about this is the answer. I think the answer is better stories. You need better stories in the NBA.
Where do those stories come from, though, Penn? Like
storytellers. Storytellers. You see this? Story over everything. That's our hashtag for our film festival, because that is what people pay to see. Right. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese is a story. Women's basketball right now is a story, and everyone talks about that story. People have people have never had more options with what to do with their attention span. This is not 1992 where you got 62 channels and one of them has the Bulls game on and one of them has the Knicks game on. Pick and choose. Is like there's endless sports, right? Like there's endless content. Like
y'all seen on Saturday, there's 2 NFL games, 3 college football playoff games. I think it was 12 NBA games. It was a bunch of different college games, men and women's hoops. UConn, USC. Like,
I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel here, because it's been done. It's being done right now in women's basketball. It's been done in the WWE. If you want a storytelling masterclass, the WWE had its storytelling masterclass, which was the Attitude Era. I think there's certain stars that are just very vanilla,
right?
Very bland.
Would you agree? First, never mind. Who cares? I don't want to get into the WNBA, but Pim, would you agree? Because me and Chill obviously run the best show on the channel on Saturday, and we were having a great conversation. Pim, would you, Ron? You got something to say? Huh?
I'm sorry.
I was gonna double down and say I agree.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay.
I wish I could be on the show, but y'all don't never give me an invite.
That's fine. We already got a host. Already got a host.
I'll be on from the logo tomorrow night. Me and Ben.
Already got a host.
I ain't gonna watch if you want it. But
already got a host.
But Pim, would you agree that they're gentrifying the NBA, gentrifying basketball? Would you agree? Now,
Mars, before you make your face like this, hear him out.
Would you agree that there's
please elaborate
that there's a certain demographic being priced out?
Sure.
Hear him out.
Can we agree
I don't even want to say priced out. I don't even want to say priced out, because that's definitely part of the economic structure of the league.
Well, it's getting a lot more expensive. Like youth athletics in general is just getting a lot more expensive than it once was. I'm not going to act like it was cheap, but there were times where everybody can play, and certain times nowadays it's getting harder and harder for a certain demographic to get involved at a certain level of basketball. And we do understand that once you get to a certain age, maybe 12, 13, 14, it's more so like, okay, if you're good enough, we're going to come get you. But you got to get to that point. How we got to let the 8-year-olds, the 9-year-olds, the 10-year-olds, the 11-year-olds, the 12-year-olds, we got to get them playing before the big teams
the big AAU teams, the better high schools before those sponsor teams can see you. You got to get on the court, and a lot of these kids are getting priced out. I think the rougher kids from certain areas, certain demographics are being less able to play basketball. I think they're gentrifying basketball, and it's getting softer. It's getting a little wimpier, if you will. Am I tripping?
I don't know if you're tripping. I don't think that. I don't know if that's one of the top 5 problems, but it certainly could be a part of the problem. I mean, if you want to say more jump shooting equals less athletic league being accessible, like the Seth Currys of the world. I don't know if Seth Curry is a good example. Jason Capono, a good example. I don't know. I think the league is more athletic today.
Sure.
So personally,
Okay,
I mean, so it's like if you're talking like there's no room for Reggie Evans, we need Reggie Evans.
I'm not
Is
necessarily talking about that, Pin. I'm not necessarily talking about athletic, because you can be from anywhere and be athletic. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the attitude, the demeanor, a little bit of the toughness.
And on top of that,
You're talking about inner city kids.
I think Malice in the Palace
Yeah,
probably changed the face of the league for a while. I think it's weird. Like we've gone through so many cycles with the NBA, right? Magic and Bird pretty much saved it from the 70s and allegedly financial ruin. Jordan took it to a new level in the 90s. I think everything after that has been like beyond the golden years, right? I just maybe it's because I was a kid, but I just remember not wanting to miss a single basketball game.
Sure.
And
why was that, Pin?
What
just
year did you
because
start watching basketball, Pin? Just for context.
What year?
Yeah, what year do you remember when you first started watching?
1992.
Right,
1991, 92. So this
do
is
you
the
think
peak
that
of
was
Michael
because of
Jordan's ascent.
Do you think that was just because like the limited availability of the games, and at the time, when we were getting the you're getting Jordan, Pacers, you're getting Knicks, getting some of the Atlanta games, you were getting the and the Knicks were crazy, from
Michael Jordan was a dog though. Hold on. There's a few things that can, speaking of stories, because I think I know a lot about stories. I'm a film writer. I run a film festival. I believe like stories have been a huge part of my life.
Sure.
One of the most important things in a story is continuity. Jordan against the Bad Boy Pistons doesn't happen if the Bad Boy Pistons pretty much change rosters every week. Every year it's a new team. Well, boom, there goes your rivalry. Reggie Miller at the Garden can't happen if the faces just keep changing and Reggie Miller ain't on the Indiana Pacers anymore. Reggie Miller goes, to the Spurs. That doesn't happen, right? Sure. So that continuity, which obviously the NBA is incentivizing through the Supermax and all the contractual structures, that helps. That helps to create rivalries. But you can't force rivalries. Everyone's too buddy now. See, everything's too accessible. I already know these guys are all messing with each other in the offseason. So it kind of breaks the illusion of these guys don't like each other.
But they were doing that Isaiah and Magic was super cool in the 80s. That was his man before they met in the finals. And these guys, the Bird and Magic thing, I think that's something completely different. Magic had the Magic Summer Nights. He had a celebrity game that he would have.
That rivalry started in college, Joe.
And
that rivalry started in college.
The rivalry between Magic and Bird started in college, 100%. But the rest of the players, there are plenty of players in the league who are stars who are really cool with each other. Jordan and Barkley were cool with each other. Magic and Isaiah Thomas were cool with each other. They were boys. Now, we didn't know that because, one, we didn't have the access that we have today, so we weren't able to see them as cool as they are today. Just like you just mentioned about the athlete. There's more athletes in the game today. Well, there's more athletes in the game today. Would that largely be due to the fact that there's more teams? In 1992, there were 22 teams in the league. There's 30 teams in the league.
There's better athletes.
That's what I was about to say, Penn, because there's a difference between more athletes and better athletes. And if we have more athletes,
well, there's more and there's better.
And I do think that there are a lot of great athletes in the game today. I think there were great athletes back then, but I think that what we deal with in today's game in terms of the marketability of these athletes, I think that's the biggest thing. Who are we putting the camera on? Who do we want the league to look like? Because remember, we're talking about a business model here. What do we want the league to look like? Who are we putting the camera on the most? Who we want people to identify with? Because again, us up here, or the people that you see in the arenas in Chase Arena or in Madison Square Garden, those guys are already on the hook. What we're trying to get is your sister, Penn, whose son like Steph Curry, and she don't know who Steph Curry is. But she doesn't really know who the
My
Golden State
sister's
Warriors
already
is.
obsessed with the game. But
Okay.
I hear what you're saying. Like, look, I hear what you're saying. I think the end result is the same. I don't need to watch full basketball games to get the gist of what happened in a basketball game anymore because I have 10-minute highlights. That's not counting towards your ratings. If the game's a blowout, first of all, more three-point shots impact the game in one very serious way. There's more blowouts. There's way more blowouts. So if I already know the game ended, like the Memphis Grizzlies, Golden State Warriors game, you think I'm watching that? You think I'm watching a 50-point blowout unless Steph went off for or Ja went off for 60? Those are the things that move people. Now, I think that's a really, really big part of it, which is that there's not a reason to watch every game because it's already pretty clear from the Stars' perspective that these games don't matter. If you're load managing a November game, why should I care about a November game? Stars don't care about a November game. Why should I care about a November game? You know what I mean? Michael Jordan was box office because you had to watch. You didn't know what he was going to do. And it was the talk of the town. And you don't want to be the idiot at school the next day who didn't know what Michael Jordan did. You know what I mean? You don't want to be the dumbass at school that didn't know that Patrick Ewing.
Do these guys care more? Like when you talk about, I don't mean to cut you off, Penn, but do these guys care more about playing more than they let on in terms of the load management? Sitting out, and with them sitting out, are they just sitting out like, hey man, I'm just collecting a check, or do they really want to play and it's just not being broadcast that they want to play?
I mean, Scotty Barnes wanted to play yesterday. People can't stop ripping him, but he's injured. Shams said he was going to miss he's several weeks. He comes back a week and a half. He has 2 bad games, and suddenly half the Raptors fan base right now thinks he's a bum. So, I mean, maybe some guys don't want to ruin their brand. Maybe some guys.
This is what I'm talking about.
Some guys are trying to preserve the parlays. I don't know. Jonte Porter, shoot. Like, I mean, there's so much noise now. And there's so much money, there's so much noise. I think the end result though is I'm seeing things that people care about. There are HBO series that people care about because the storytelling is great. People said, something I deal with in my industry all the time is like, oh, people are not going to the movies anymore. It's like, yeah, because they're streaming content. They are streaming great network series because the best directors in the world are working on series, not films right now. You just need to go where the greatest stories are because the greatest stories are what can hook you. And the truth is that people have a declined attention span today, more so than ever. Everything is hijacking dopamine. Every time you're on the phone. How many times have you been on the phone? I don't know about you, Cho, because you might have that OG GOAT attention span. But me personally, I'm on one thing and then suddenly I think about another thing. And the next thing you know, I'm like 4 minutes later, I've clicked on 18 different things. Well, how am I supposed to sit down and because the game length hasn't changed. It's still a 3-hour product or 2.5-hour product. Sure. Who has the patience to watch a 2.5-hour game that apparently doesn't matter? You know what I mean? Like unless you're covering it, like I think I feel like I'm repeating myself.
I think it's the faces. It goes back to if you see something familiar, you might not want to go grocery shopping, but you know that your favorite grocer is there and the food is good. So you go and your attention span is on that. Same logic I feel like with basketball, if the faces are familiar and it's somebody that you gravitate toward, you're going to turn the game on just off the strength that this person might be a little bit bigger than the game. And because this person is a little bit bigger than the game, you want to see them more than you want to see the game, which draws you to the game.
Who is box office for you right now, apart from Jason Tatum? Who is it like, I got to watch this guy every night?
The problem is the guys that are box office have been the guys who've been box office for years, and we haven't moved away from those guys. James.
So chill. You think it's a matter of us seeing these guys too long? Nobody else has taken the mantle.
I think we still on James. I still think we on KD. I still think we on Curry. I still think we on these guys, and we haven't moved on from them. That's why this is still going on. If those guys, if we moved on from them, we tried to move on with Anthony Edwards. We tried to move on with Ja, but it's just not working. It's not. So because James is still here.
Honestly, we tried to move on to them too quick though, and that's the problem. As NBA fans, our attention spans, we just so quick.
Well, it doesn't help that those guys are still around too, Ron. That
definitely doesn't help. But it's like we try to move on to Anthony Edwards in his third year in the NBA. We try to move on to John Morant in his third year in the NBA. It's third-year player
that's gonna. Ron. I mean, we did that with Dwayne Wade. He was in year 3.
Yeah, and we did that to Dwayne Wade after he went and won a championship.
Right.
We didn't do that to Dwayne Wade because he was smiling in the media and saying charismatic quotes. You got.
But we were moving on from
Ron. D-Wade went on a crazy run in 2005 though.
Yeah, we were moving on.
That's what turned us on the way was that first run he went on. 2005.
Yeah, and then he backed it up. And then by that time, we was like, okay, Wade is the truth. By that time, you could see with your own eyes. Okay, LeBron James is next. And LeBron James came in the league with all that hype. And then Carmelo Anthony was doing with Carmelo. Yeah, but it wasn't that, though. Now look, Ant went on the run last year. Now, if Ant comes and wins the championship this year, things would change. I think we got something. That's what D-Wade did.
That ain't happening.
Okay, so that's what
hypothetically speaking, Ron.
Hypothetically speaking, but I'm saying like we can't crown guys if they're not going just based on their smile and the way that they talk and stuff like that. Like it's ultimately at the end of the day, it's your production and what you do. You got to be a winner in this league.
But don't you think that's a casual way of looking at things, though, yo? Like I don't need my favorite player to win a championship for me to be excited to watch him play.
Well, look, if that's not the case, then you better be like Jordan, and you better be just phenomenal. You better be like Shaq before he won his chip. You better be like, we're asking for a star to be a star. You can't crown somebody a star if they're not an actual star.
And see that's the problem.
You're also asking for them to be American because we have Luka, Giannis, and Jokic just running around putting up all-time dominant seasons year after year, and no one wants to market them. So you're also asking for them to be US born.
Well, but Mars, I mean, okay, it might be a fact for some people, but I don't think. I don't need you to be a superstar for me to watch you play basketball.
Yeah, but you're like at this point you're the exception. You're just gonna watch hoops because you enjoy watching hoops.
You on the hook, Ox.
And this is the thing. Like I'm starting. The more like I hear this conversation, the more I'm starting to side with Ox. Like I'm getting to a point where like I just don't care what stupid people think at this point. Like we're trying to fix a product for people who just aren't interested anyway. So like it's like we're kind of wasting our time
with
this
game for these people.
That's what I was saying. I don't think it's
we're kind of wasting our time with it. And like we're saying, Anthony Edwards didn't take the mantle, or John Moran, or Zion Williamson, or whoever. But it's like you're actively ignoring the all-time great players that are playing currently in their prime. We're ignoring Giannis. For the only reason is, we can't have a non-American face. We're ignoring Jokic, who won a championship 18 months ago, is having an all-time great offensive season. It's like, but he's not charismatic enough. Like, we're not even talking about the game at this point. Like, we're just talking about their media personality. Is like why we don't want people watching them more. It's like
it matters though, Mars, because we're talking about building.
It matters for the business model, and that's cool. But
we're talking about building a brand. 100%. At the end of the day,
I don't work for the NBA, so like, why am I so worried about fixing their product? Why am I so worried about fixing their business model? If their business model relies on American people having to buy into American athletes, I'm not gonna lie, I think their business model is stupid. So I don't know why I'm trying to fix their business model instead of me doing what I can to say, hey, we have a really good product right now. Take the time out of your day if you're interested. We got 1,500 people in here. We have 1,500 people in here. If I can influence 1,500 people to go watch Cade Cunningham and what he's doing in Detroit right now, he's been amazing. Did you see what he did against Phoenix the other night? He beat Phoenix with Kevin Durant in the lineup. He was guarding Kevin Durant in the fourth quarter. Cade Cunningham. He's been amazing this year, but we're not talking about him. We talk about LaMelo Ball and what he's been doing for Charlotte, and all I've heard is that he's a shot-tracking three-point merchant. And we're like, LaMelo Ball has been amazing for Charlotte this year, but we aren't talking about him. Scotty Barnes, prior to his injury, had been really good for Toronto this year. But we don't talk about these type of players because I guess it's not cool to talk about them. So we're going to still talk about, why are the Lakers struggling? Or they win 4 games. Are the Lakers championship contenders? Same thing with the Warriors. They start 7-1. The Warriors dynasty is still going. Then the Warriors start losing. What trades can the Warriors make? Like
the media cartel swiper.
At what point are we going to be like, okay, maybe we can't change the game in the big instance. That's down to Adam Silver and whatever suits they have in the NBA front office. But in the small scale, in the macro scale, we can at least talk about the teams that don't get love. We can talk about the Indiana Pacers starting to turn their season around. I know Ron probably don't want to talk about that. The Indiana have looked better as of late. We can talk about, like I said, Cade Cunningham. We can talk about how good Zach LaVine's been for Chicago without having to keep saying, what contender should trade for Zach LaVine. We don't need to keep bringing up Zach LaVine in trade talks just to talk about him. We should talk about the fact that he's playing really great this season. Same thing with the
Milwaukee
Orlando
turned
Magic
their
and
team
Paolo
around.
and France. Same thing with Tyler Hero, who's having a great year. Like, there's so many players and teams to talk about, but we talk about the same 6 recycled teams, and then we wonder why people aren't interested. It's like, all we do is talk about 6 teams. That's what we do. So I don't know. I'm kind of over trying to fix the NBA.
I mean,
for Adam Silver with a business model that I think has been broken for 40 years.
Talk to us, Swiper.
what's up, Spurs fan number one?
Yeah.
So I think,
double Spurs cap.
yeah, I think I've had this for years, by the way. I think that this is pre-Jeremy Sohan days, when they had nothing, no Baylor athletes, nothing.
Calling it Jeremy Sohan days made it worse.
Yeah, I went to Baylor. This is a known fact, so obviously this is going to mean something to me. Shout out Keontae George, future All-Star, by the way.
That's
I will.
All-Star?
No, he's good. No, in the Western Conference,
I think he's nice. I think
he could be an All-Star player one day, right?
Come
I'm saying
on.
if he continues to lead,
if a few things go right, yeah. If a few things go right,
I think he could be a better version of Jamal Murray. I think he could be a better version of Jamal pre-ACL injury Jamal.
Lord.
Swiper, can you proceed with your point though?
Yeah, I am proceeding with it. I'm talking about a player you've never watched in your life when you never watched a Jazz game. So I think here's the thing.
I watched Keontae George in high school, fool. When you ain't know about him before. Hey, before he signed to Baylor, I knew about Keontae.
Yeah, all right.
I
will say this. And Chill, you probably know this better than anybody else up here. Ron, I know is a football fan. I know that the other person and a lot of them left is a little bit as well, but not crazy, and I understand why. Who's the best player in the NFL play for, Chill?
The best player in the NFL right now.
What city
Patrick
did he play?
Mahomes in Kansas City.
Minnesota.
Okay, what is the second best quarterback? Let's just the other top 3 quarterbacks in the league. What other cities do they play in?
Less than cities.
Buffalo?
Let's see. Buffalo, Josh Allen,
Cincinnati,
Joe Burrow, in
Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
None of these are blue chip cities. None of them. And some of these aren't even blue chip franchises. But the NFL, I think they have always prioritized to shield, and they have never, at least I would say in the modern era, they've never gone about the business of talking down about their own cities, their own franchises, and players within those franchises. Like, you don't hear Justin Jefferson needs to get out of Minnesota. Jamar Chase needs to get out of Cincinnati. Like, A.J. Brown was thriving in Tennessee, and then he got let go because of certain situations. I think the storytelling in the NFL around the teams is way better. And even when if you got a pillar in your city, the NFL will say, I don't give a dang where you are. If Jacksonville had Patrick Mahomes or any of them, they're getting airtime every single week, and they're going to be talked about like who they are, which is the best in the world. And I think the NBA has never been like that. But I also think that's a product, Chill. Remember, we had this debate during the PCL run. I think a topic chosen by you, one of the best hosts in the game. Who saved the NBA? And we did the Magic Johnson and Larry Bird thing. I think that once that happened in the 1980s, I think the NBA realized that we have to go big market. And in order to save the league, then they pivoted to the two biggest franchises in the NBA. And I think ever since they've been living off that same formula. And
They haven't pivoted in 40 years.
Well, think about what happened though, Ron. What happened right after that? Remember, Shaq went there after Orlando, and everybody loved Shaq, right? And then they got Kobe. And then remember, they drafted Paul Pierce in 96. Mars, was that 96?
98.
98. They drafted Pierce. Then they got KG in the middle of the 2000s. They got Ray Allen. They got Rajon Rondo. Like, they had a stack play. And so now the NBA
that was
is
12 years later, though, Swiper.
I know, but the thing is, even when, remember, Boston was down for a few years there.
Right.
And they were still getting played. Now, they weren't getting as much play as the Knicks. The Knicks were getting more play than them because they had, like, Ewing and John Starks and the rest of the squad, and they eventually got Antonio McDyess in the late 90s and all that. I just think the NBA has always relied on that formula because that's what has been best for them. So I think that the NBA now is trying to pivot with having the access to the NBA TV deals to now you can watch every individual team play. But the issue is now ESPN and Fox. Nick Wright even said this 2.5 years ago. Penn, you probably remember this when Nick Wright was talking about why, like, Jokic and Denver don't get more play on air and why this, like, more negative takes. He was in the car, Ox, and he basically said, like, the ratings plummet when we don't talk about like the Lakers or LeBron or Steph or Golden State.
That's because these people, for that reason right there, Swiper, what you talking about. People always talk about they care about the underdog. No, you don't. You do not. No, you, especially when the underdog is on the big stage.
Parity sells worse too, Chill. If you have a super stacked team, those teams always sell better than when you have a lot of parity in the NBA.
It depends on where you are, because to your point, when you talk about the NFL, I mean, in the last 25 years, we've had 13 different champions. 13 different teams have won the championship. So if you live in a different city, you're under the impression, and that's not including the other teams that were in the Super Bowl for the first time. So if you're in another city, you're under the impression that my team can win it. If you live in Tennessee, my team can win the Super Bowl. If you're in like I said, Kansas City, or when the Raiders were in Oakland, my team could win the Super Bowl. I mean, we've seen specific teams winning the NBA Finals. It's the Spurs, it's the Lakers, it's the Cavs, whatever. It's the Cavs, Spurs, Lakers, Cavs, Heat. Detroit was in there too.
Raptors.
Warriors. One more time.
Raptors.
I mean, that's not that. Now we have, over the course of the last 6 years, had 6 different teams win the NBA championship. Sure.
When's the last time that happened? Chill.
In the 70s.
You know?
In the 70s.
The West era of basketball.
And that was the last time that happened, where we had 6 different champions in the 70s.
Let me see trivia. Name them. Bucks?
So let's start with in 70. So the Knicks win it in the 69-70 season. The Bucks win it in 71. The Lakers win it in 72. The Knicks win it again in 73. The Celtics win it in 74. The Warriors win it in 75. Blazers win it in 76.
Yep.
I'm sorry, not the Blazers didn't win it in 76. The Celtics won it in 76. The Blazers win it in 77. The Washington wins it in 78. Seattle wins it in 79. Did I get that wrong? So I think we had 7 different champions in 9 years.
Chill's on the show right there, baby.
Right, so he watched those finals. He was at the games.
So we've had 7 different champions in 9 years. But to your point, Swiper, when you talk about parity, I mean, I'm around when I'm watching the Tampa Bay Devil Rays in the World Series, and the building isn't sold out. So I mean, people care about parity, and they care about watching the mighty Yankees or the Lakers lose until they're not around anymore, and then you want those guys back. And I think Mars made a really interesting point about talking more about what's going on in the league. My rebuttal to that, Mars, is that's a valid point, but we do have to grow the league, because what we don't want to stay in a specific space where, okay, this is what the league is now, and this is all that the league is going to be. The league has to grow, and we do have to get better players. And in order to get better players, in order to get better quality of play, we got to get better players. So I don't want to just stay with the certain demographic that we have. That's why the business doesn't grow if we just stay right where we are. That's why we're trying to branch out to get different people.
But is it true that just in general, people are more wanting to just be entertained than they are wanting to watch basketball?
I think they've always been like that, Ox. I don't think that's something that's changed.
I think that it was a time when we could be entertained by watching good basketball, as opposed to, you know what I'm saying, just getting entertained by just all the extras around basketball, the listening to, like, I don't even listen to them dudes on TNT like that. Like, and if you think I'm about to just sit down and listen to them at halftime, I'm not.
Maybe that might be the problem. This brand of basketball to the masses isn't entertaining, and that's the issue that they have with it. You know,
we got nostalgia goggles about how people consume basketball in the past. It's always been about, oh, this is exciting or this is not exciting. It's not like everyone in the 70s and 80s, from what I understand, is just sitting there like, the X's and O's are so brilliant. No, they're being entertained. Okay,
once again, when I make these statements, I'm not really talking about just like the masses. My first initial statement, yes, it's like, are people more wanting to just be entertained, or people want to watch basketball? Me, I can be entertained by basketball as opposed to the extras. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You can't market the NBA to ex-professional basketball players.
Basketball, sure.
Right. But once again, I'm talking about. So I went from that to saying, like, for me, I can just watch basketball. I like basketball as opposed to the extras, and you know what I'm saying, having to be entertained by other stuff than just watching basketball.
Fox, how many times have you come on the show and said you're done with the NBA? How many times?
Right, but that's what I'm saying though, Pin. Like it's not that I'm done with the NBA because of the extras, because of the guys that are talking about basketball. I'm getting done with the NBA because I feel like it's not really about basketball anymore. It's more about entertainment. It's more about what's gonna get what's
Clicks and views,
more clicks
like
instead of us playing
about?
instead of us just playing basketball. It's not really just basketball. It's more so.
All right, so Ox, answer this question for me then, Penn, really quickly.
I'm real
Jamal's
picky
point.
with it, Pin. I'm
Sure.
I'm really picky about it.
100%. I can definitely get with that because you know what bad basketball looks like. You know what good basketball looks like.
Bad
There's a
basketball
reason
to me,
right, to you in particular. There's a reason why you turning the game off in the second quarter because I don't want to watch this shit. This isn't good basketball. Not because Zach LaVine or anything. No, this just isn't good basketball. I get that part 100%. My question is okay, Mars, who should we be talking about in December of 2024? Who are we not talking about that we should be talking about more in your estimation? Who do you think because I'm going to tell you right now, Mars, we need to be talking about the Houston Rockets way more than we do. We don't talk about the Rockets enough as much as we should. We should be talking about them way more than we do. They on to something down in Houston. I love what they're doing. I love that young core. Jabari Smith, I think he's shooting like 41% on the long ball over the last month.
Don't you see the problem with what you're doing here, Joe? Is you're trying to construct a narrative. Narratives are born of natural interest.
Like sport. Are you saying in sports in particular?
Yes.
In life.
Okay.
Sounds like.
No.
Yeah, narratives can be dug up. Narratives can be created.
No. As a historian, no. That's just untrue.
I think Chill is just trying to put a spotlight on NBA teams. I don't think he's trying to.
Yeah, you look. The NBA tried. Hold on. The NBA tried to put a spotlight on Victor Wembanyama, right? They put him on the NBA app before he even got to the league. That was unprecedented, right? They were trying to sell the app, and they were trying to get people to really invest in the longer term story of this kid. Right now, maybe the NBA will start doing a similar push for Dylan Harper and Cooper Flagg. Maybe the year after they'll do something similar for AJ DeBonsa. But at some point, you cannot push something that people don't want to watch. And let me tell you something. Everyone tuned in to watch Wemby's first few games. What did they see? Jeremy Sohan running point, and they were like, "Click off. I'm done. I'm done. I ain't watching this shit." And this dude is taking like 15 threes. He's possibly one of the most marketable athletes in sports history when you think about the optics of it. He's an international player in a domestic league. He's 7'5". We've never seen anything like it. And they've completely botched it. But it's not they didn't botch it by themselves. You can't force feed people this stuff. You can't be like, oh, let's talk about Wemby a lot. People turn it off. They have other options. You can't be like, you know what we really need to talk about? We need to talk about Fred VanVleet and the Houston Rockets and what they're doing. Shit, nobody wants to see this.
No one's saying.
I appreciate the Houston Rockets. I like the Houston Rockets.
Turn the Rockets into the Lakers, where that's all we talk about. We're saying talk about these teams also. Talk about Evan Mobley's improvement this season. Also, talk about the Boston Celtics, the reigning NBA champions. That's fine. Talk about Karl Anthony Towns' season. Talk about how the Magic is still managing to stay afloat without their two best players.
Three now.
Yeah, Jalen Suggs. Two. Mo Wagner just tore his ACL.
You can't talk about players who are not genuinely fun to watch. Vince Carter was box office. Okay. Kobe Bryant was box office. Sure. Michael Jordan was box office.
Russell Westbrook is box office. 100% he was.
I don't think. I would put him in that tier, but sure.
He said who? He said who?
Russell Westbrook was box.
He said you wouldn't put him in that. What are you talking?
No, Russell Westbrook was good for nothing. He just existed.
You think Russell Westbrook was as popular as Vince Carter?
This is why
you can think he's a better player.
Penn, that's what I'm saying. Penn, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe in another world, I don't know where you were when I was coming up and I was watching. Russell Westbrook was more of a draw than Kevin Durant was. So like I think people need to realize that like Westbrook was the engine because of how again the NBA loves high flyers.
Who I compared him to?
Vince Carter is very similar.
Kobe Bryant. I didn't compare him to Latrell Sprewell and Allen Houston and Reggie Miller.
Latrell Sprewell was not nearly the box office draw that Russell Westbrook was. No, he was not. And I understand what you're talking. No, I understand your point. What your point is your point is box office and these players in comparison to box office
player because I don't know.
And that's what Russell Westbrook was. At one point, Russell Westbrook was a must-see.
Oh my God,
he was 100%. You think
how are we capping about Russ? Like I don't know. I didn't realize this was a take. Honestly, I didn't realize that was a take at all.
I feel like we're getting away from the
of Russell Westbrook.
Still respect Latrell Sprewell though.
No, I love
Yeah, he
Latrell.
was cold,
I
but
love
like, there's
Latrell.
only a few of us that love Latrell like that, though. To be honest with you, bro. Like,
I love Latrell.
No,
No,
real ones, real ones love Latrell.
I mean, yeah,
Absolutely.
Nick's Latrell was it. You know what I mean? And then he had the choking
Latrell
incident
was
and all
amazing.
that stuff.
I'm
Yeah,
not-
he was the type of dude you went to the barn with. Yeah, that's my dog.
But back
What
to
I'm
the
saying is that Vince Carter led the league in All-Star voting for like 6 years. Did he not? Like he was the most popular basketball player in the
Because
world.
he had a whole country behind
Yeah,
him.
that's what I'm saying,
No,
bro. Yeah, he had
it
an
was
entire
not
nation
because
behind
of
him.
Canada. Canada can barely vote for their own players. Come on, man. And half of Canada
can't
turned
vote
on
in
those
Canada?
guys.
Come on,
No.
Pin. Now you're capping, Pin. Now you're capping.
Y'all can't vote in Canada? Why you say barely?
Oh my God, man! You think a country of 33 million people is pushing at the time 33, 34 million people is pushing a player over when the rest of the world equals like what 6 billion, 7 billion?
Well, you still have the rest of the world. So Vince Carter was who he was, and
Vince
then he had a
Carter
whole
was who he
country that
was
backed him.
because
The same thing with Yao Ming.
But even
He was who he
All-Star
was,
voting
then he had a
doesn't-
whole
doesn't
country
Vince
get
that
into,
Carter
backed
like,
him.
was
the
who he
tens and all
was
that stuff.
because every time ESPN played his highlights, ratings went up.
Pin, I'm gonna put
The
it like
dude
this:
jumped over a dude's head in the Olympics.
Vince Carter was box office. He was not more box office than Shaq. He was not more box office than Kobe. He was not more box office than KG.
This
He
is
was
not
not
Vince
more box
versus
office
Kobe.
than Allen
Yeah,
Iverson.
Kevin Garnett.
He was.
Well, Kevin Garnett was in Minnesota, my bro. That's the only reason. Yeah, he didn't get
Well,
voted.
I'm talking about if you watch the game. Well, if you factor all that in, yeah. But if you watch the game
Okay.
play, it was more enjoyable to watch.
Now I will
Kevin
tell you
Garnett.
this, Chill and Penn. What you might remember, Ox, you too, Run. Penn, the show that they used to do it was 30 for 30 before 30 for 30. You know what I'm talking about? It was like through the line or something like
With
that.
that Brian Gumble shit?
No, I'm talking about it was on
because they had
it was
Kevin
on-
Garnett had one. You know what I'm talking about, Chill.
yeah, it was called it was on Fox.
Yeah,
Beyond
beyond
the lines.
Yeah, I remember that.
No,
Yeah,
not
bro.
beyond the lines.
Hey,
Beyond it was
Hey,
beyond
to Penn, that's why I'm supporting you. I think Vince, he just already had it. I didn't get on Kevin Garnett till I saw that mess. And when he was in high school, and then all the stuff that he went through, and then eventually led him to the league and all that other stuff. So, like, again, I would say this, Penn, the storytelling around those players with that show, with the 30 for 30, with the documentaries, the DVDs. I'm telling y'all, I had the His Airness DVD pack, Chill. I watched that mess almost every day during the summer.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, you couldn't. Michael Jordan could do no wrong in my eyes. Couldn't do
Yeah,
wrong.
I think
they just
everyone
did
who was
they just
around
did
then
the
can
Netflix
literally
thing.
tell you about that DVD,
Right.
like frame to frame, VHS
Right.
back then,
Right.
frame for frame.
Right.
Pin, before you get going, I gotta step in and tell everybody first. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you comment.
Beyond the glory.
Keep commenting. Make
That's
sure
it.
you subscribe
Beyond
to the channel,
the
and
glory.
also too, shout out to our Hall of Famers: Kendall Daniels, K.T, Hunt Gilgores, Multi Kinney, Cobra Son of Raditz, and furthermore, if you're wondering where you can run your game, control your game, and win your game, look no further than PrizePicks, where you can get $50 instantly when you play just 5, only when you use promo code PANEL. Now, obviously, PrizePicks is an app. Obviously, PrizePicks is an amazing app. But why is it an amazing app? Well, it's because it allows us basketball fans to test our knowledge and put our money where our mouth is. Now, with the NBA season back, that means there's endless opportunities for you to pick your favorite teams, favorite players, and your favorite matchups that are the most thrilling for the night. And it's very simple. Well, you pick a player, and then you pick more or less, and then you decide how confident you are in what that player's projections are. You put the money up, and then you win the money. That's what we do here every day on Player's Choice on the panel. So PrizePicks makes it easy to get into real money action with the sports and the players you love. Pick more or less with 2 or more players in any sport, and you can win up to 1,000 times your entry fee. It's that simple. Craft your winning lineup, cash out fast, and join a community that's winning every day. Turn your sports knowledge into cash with PrizePicks. Let's get into it today, fellas.
I want Joel Embiid.
Less,
Okay. Whatever he's at, I want more for points. Thank you.
Ox, that's what you're doing? OG
Yep.
Anunoby? Well,
That's what
the
he's doing.
first pick has been selected. Big Ox is choosing a demon pick with OG Anunoby, 24.5 PR, points and rebounds. That's the first one we got on the board. Mars
Damn,
has
bunch of demons.
already
What the hell?
selected Joel Embiid. So Ox is going to type in Joel Embiid, and we're going to see just how demony Mars is feeling.
Nah, he not getting no rebounds. he not getting rebounds. We already understand.
49.5 for Joel PRA. Heat.
Wait, let me just see if there's anything else interesting real quick.
Threes.
Nah, chill out on threes. Wait.
Phoenix, Denver tonight, Mars.
Yeah, but Joel's playing Wemby, so he averages 7. He averages 70 against Wemby, so I'm gonna take more than 29. I'm gonna take more than 29, please. Thank you.
Ox, go down now. What's the combined?
Oh wait, what's the combo? What's the combo?
Yeah. What that is? What that is right there?
52.5 points. Is that it?
So basically, they both cook each other.
So Joel scores 50 and Wemby scores 3. I'll take more on that. Yeah, there we go.
All right, Chill Town. What you thinking about?
Cleveland and Utah. I want to see the line on Evan Mobley. I want to see what the action is with Evan Mobley. What we got going on with him? Because Darius Garland, he got his hands full tonight with Sexton. Yes, he does. What is the line with Evan Mobley? Do we have any action with Mobley tonight?
There he is.
We got Mobley.
There's a demon on points.
11.5 rebounds. I'm gonna take the go up, keep going up, keep going up. 7 field goals made, 12.5. I like go back down to the threes. I think he makes more than 1 3. I do. I think he makes 2 threes tonight.
Damn.
Yes. I'm gonna take Mobley with 2 threes. Yes. I think he gets 2 wide open. I think he knocks down 2 threes tonight.
All right. We got demon picks. Y'all know how this goes. Hold on, that was 5 threes for Darius Garland. You don't even got to go back. Don't even worry about it.
Taking that,
but hell no. Hey,
you
couldn't pay me to take
make
that.
5 threes? Oh, you're here. That's crazy.
Well, speaking of threes, Ox, can you go to that 3-point made combo? Now, it's a game tonight between 2 real shooters, 2 high-octane offenses. And they only think 7.5 threes. Man, come on, man. You see the Hallie and the Steph Curry, the 2 best shooters in the NBA, 7.5 threes. Hey, that's the whole reason we arguing today on the show. Is the NBA shooting too many threes? Well, if I had to make the line, I would say that they're gonna make 10. So 7.5, easy money. And here's what we have.
Steph gonna make 8 of them, so he gonna hit it himself.
Cool. Well,
Ali gonna make like 1.
What's the Jamal Murray, Kevin Durant one?
Oh God, like 4 threes? Oh, 6. Okay.
Oh yeah, less.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe. I'm not saying less, but maybe.
KD will make like 2, so come down to Jamal Murray.
All right, well, this is what we got right now. As you can see, our entry fee is $20, and our total winnings, potential winnings, is $650, and this is all on OG Anunoby going more than 24.5 points and rebounds. Joel Embiid and Victor Wembanyama combining for more than 52.5 points. And then we got Evan Mobley, 2 threes. Demon pick, we need that from Evan Mobley. And last but not least, this is the layup of this contest. Stephen Curry and Tyrese Halliburton going more than 7.5 threes. Chat, let us know how you feeling about this. Let us know if we can go ahead and just count this 650 in our pockets. And Ox, you go ahead and send this through, and we will be back tomorrow.
I want mine in 1s, by the way. Thank you very much.
All right, y'all. Obviously, we know that it is Monday, so we know exactly what that means. At the top of the hour, we got our top 5 comments of the week, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into it. I appreciate everybody that's been tapped into Player's Choice throughout the whole year. I guess this is a good time for me to just point out everybody that has commented throughout this whole year. 2024 has been a hell of a year, and you guys have been a big reason why everybody that turns up in the comment section, not just live, but comes when the show's not live and just leaves good comments like the way that you guys do. So let me go ahead and get into it. This is the first comment of the week.
Uh-oh.
There we go. All right. Here's what we're looking at. Hold on. Let me make sure I get pin up here because this is 4 pin.
Mm-hmm.
See,
I'm glad that we changed the way the comments are laid out. This makes more sense.
Yeah, so that we can see them. This is good producing. Good
Shout out JD for listening. Appreciate it.
Now just getting my belt, please. Thank you.
Xavier Johnson 4496 says, shout out Pin. You don't always got to double down, especially when it's 3 or 4 on 1. LOL. Side note, I actually tend to lean towards you in this argument. I think Jokic actually clears Giannis, and it's not really complicated for me. Offense is way more valuable than defense, especially since at your best and in the right situation, you are a plus defender or a neutral at worst for real. Mars explained this perfectly in this argument, all while trying to play devil's advocate to himself. LOL. I love the show. All that being said, I don't know about y'all, but I'm open to considering that Giannis may be on his way to closing the gap between him and Jokic.
What? You gonna say all that just to finish? What?
He's doing the Mars special of playing all sides of the argument. Shout out to you, Xavier. Shout out to you, Xavier Johnson.
I still think there's a gap. I just don't think it's as wide as it.
Pin, you're muted.
I do think that there's a gap, though. 100%.
Did you know, by the way, to that point this year, that Jokic is second in points in the clutch, and he's shooting 53, 57, 75 splits?
75?
Yeah, he's cooked. Free throws are cooked, but he had 13 points in the fourth quarter and overtime yesterday, and he's been a
You see that Eve Misi block?
Yeah, I think Eve's crazy. Yeah, he's super athletic. Yeah, I like him.
I thought New Orleans did a good job.
We'll get into that game in a little bit.
Sure.
But Pim, would you like to address Xavier Johnson 4496?
What do you want me to say? Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the shout out. Thank you so much. And in terms of the 4-on-1, stuff, like, yeah, I'm gonna keep doing that.
Yeah, I wasn't here, Pin.
Back you up,
apparently.
I'm gonna keep doubling down, tripling down on things, and when I'm wrong, I'll take accountability for it. But until I'm wrong, you'll just shut the hell up.
Cool about what?
By the way, I take this opportunity as the spotlight to shout out Jacoby Walter.
Yeah, what the hell?
Crazy last night.
He was on
14
some
points.
time in last night.
First 14 points for the Toronto Raptors last night with Jacoby
We were
Walter.
losing to Jacoby Walter by
Three.
himself. And I was doing my show, and I had the Rockets game on like neck on my other screen, and he made like 4 threes like instantly. I don't know. Anyway, shout out to Jacoby Walter. He played very well last night. I want to give him a little credit.
All right, here's what we're looking at. The next comment is from Jason Ha 4489. Jason Ha said, a good criteria for what separates the best, or in terms of all-time convos, what separates the GOAT from the second best, should be the exact same criteria as what separates the third from the fourth and the sixth guy from the eighth guy. Your criteria should be applicable for the 407th best player of all time, as well as the 9th best. Otherwise, you end up having different criteria for a different subsection of players, and that line is arbitrary, which is fine, but it feels wrong to judge players like that.
Did the 9th player and the 6th player do the same thing as the 80th player and the 131st player?
Yeah, play basketball. That's what they did.
Okay, so that's what I got
The criteria is always going to be different.
All right, I got it.
I agree with who was that? Who sent that?
Jason Ha.
Jason Ha. Thank you. Yeah, that was the point I was trying to make with the accolades thing. Like, if someone doesn't have accolades, do you then are you unable to rank them? Like, or not rank them, but just talk about them and compare them to someone else? Like, I feel like
100%. Adrian Dantley doesn't have any league MVPs. Neither does Mark Aguirre. I think Adrian Dantley better than Mark Aguirre.
But then, would you say could Adrian Dantley be better than someone with an MVP?
Well, that's the same logic with the defensive player of the year. I think a defender is better than another guy who won the defensive player of the year. I think I can do that too.
I agree. I mean, I know I could do that. Like
Yeah,
that's my thing. Like
I can do
I
that.
feel like
But
the separator being for like, and this is another problem that we like only seem to talk about, like the all-time top 25 guys. Like once you get below that threshold of the all-time greats who have all of these accolades, like every all-time top 25 guy, just because of how good they are, like good players are going to achieve things. That's just the reality of the situation. Even me knowing I don't care about accolades, I understand that good players are going to achieve accolades. But once you get beyond that threshold and you start running into players who don't have accolades, and then I hear the way people talk about those guys, and when I hear them try and compare them, and they just sound clueless, that's where I'm like, then we're clearly just not talking about the sport of basketball at this point. Like, if you can't tell me the strengths and weaknesses of Cole Anthony because he has no accolades, and you can't go on Basketball Reference and see that he was a 6th man of the year or he averaged 20 this time, like if you can't see Cole Anthony's strengths and weaknesses, it's like at what point, like I just don't care to talk with you, because like, if you need to see someone's Basketball Reference page to have any sort of clue of how good they are at anything, you kind of just like you lose my interest.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. That's
I think where the line gets blurred is the best players do win accolades sometimes. That's where that's where the line gets blurred, because the best player in the league does become the MVP.
Not sometimes, all the time.
No, not all the time. No, the best player is not the league MVP all the time. That's just
but
there was a question.
There will never be a person who was one of the 5 best players in the league who never made an All-NBA team. That will never happen.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
Well, maybe in today's game with the 65 game thing, like maybe there'll be someone who comes down that only plays
minus that
games every year.
I guess some
like,
last year.
There'll never be someone who's at that level and never made an All-NBA team. Like never. Like that player will never happen.
Like, well, let me say,
that good,
first team All-NBA.
No, that's why I said All-NBA team.
Okay. Yeah, because I was about to say I could feel like I can name a couple years in there.
Yeah, first team, yeah, sure, because that was when it was positional.
Right.
Like if you were the second best center in the league, like you would make a second team. But like just All-NBA period, like there will never be someone who is a top 5, top 10 player who never made an All-NBA team. Like you'll achieve something if you're that level of player at some point. Now, how many you'll achieve, how many you'll get, whether you'll be an MVP or anything like that, but you will have something on your resume if you're that level of player. And if you're not that level of player and you don't have that on your resume, then all of a sudden you just mean nothing. That's
what I'm saying, Omar. It's like your resume kind of defines you, like it or not. Let's just look at the top 5 players in the league, and I'll go with Chill's top 5. You got Jokic, NBA champion, multiple MVP, Finals MVP, All NBAs, first teams, all of that. Giannis, basically the same thing.
6 straight first team All NBAs,
and an NBA Cup champion too. And
they hung their banner for that too.
Yeah,
so.
facts. We deserved it.
Which, by the way, Ron, and stay right there, Ron. That's gonna matter. I'm telling you right now, this is gonna matter in years to come. I'm telling you right now, Swipe.
The first couple years, it better not, because nobody wanted to win that.
It might not be a big deal right now, but it's
not the first 2.
It is.
Nobody wanted to win last year, and nobody really wanted to win this year. Respectfully,
it's going to be a bigger deal. But
how do you know who wanted to?
They took a break. They took a break. Players were like, "I'm good. Give me a week off."
It'll be a step up from All-Star MVP.
And by the way, Ox, go right now. Go look at the in-seed. Go look at the in-seed and tournament stats.
Why?
They so hard to find. You can't even find it. Just like the playing stats.
That's a good thing.
Oh,
you have to watch the game and you have to be there. You have to see it.
Okay, so what? 20 years from now, then you're gonna see an in-season tournament on Giannis's record. What numbers did he have? 0, 0, 0, 0, 0.
The game will be online. The box score probably won't. I'd assume at some point Basketball Reference will have a way to get the box score from that game and just put it on their website. Even if it's not on the NBA official website, they'll get it and put it down. I'd assume.
In 20 years, it's gonna matter, and it should matter.
We're gonna get back to these comments though. The third comment of the week is from Working in the Whale 3498. Working in the Whale said, how many Euro great defenders that suck on offense are playing in the NBA today? That's right. How many average Euro defenders that are very good on offense playing in the NBA today? Exactly. Why Euros come to the NBA? because they'd rather live in Detroit, Memphis, Chicago, and Minnesota than in Berlin, Madrid, Monte Carlo, and Athens. At a certain age, after they see what is the best way to make a lot of money, they
concentrate.
They concentrate.
They concentrate
on
I'm just
offense.
trying to read what it
you
says.
good, Ron? You going, Ron? You good?
Make
They
it a group
concentrate.
project.
They
Come on, Ron.
concentrate.
You good?
They
Come on,
concentrate on offense, and there are no Ja, Ant, Durant, Curry, Tatum, Booker, etc. at the EuroLeague. They can't prepare for that, but they sure are prepared to pick apart any defense trying to slow them down.
Is there a? I mean, Ron, you watch more EuroLeague ball than me, and there's plenty of ballers in the EuroLeague. I mean, they might not be to the level of Ja, but it's plenty of guards in the EuroLeague that'll bust your ass. Plenty. There's plenty of big guys in the EuroLeague.
More than plenty.
That'll bust your ass. So, I mean, I think the EuroLeague and the NBA, the two different leagues. Number one, and everybody that play in the EuroLeague, nobody that play in the EuroLeague, not many guys that play in the EuroLeague can play in the NBA, and plenty of guys who play in the NBA can't play in the EuroLeague. And I'm talking about stars. I ain't just talking about just the mid-level or the lower level players. There's stars that play in the NBA that wouldn't be as productive in the EuroLeague. And that's just because the game is different. The way the game is played and the nuances, the fundamentals, all of that stuff in the game is just different. So, I mean, I think his point is interesting, though.
They teach the game completely different over there. I think that's fundamentally one of the most important things. They play a lot of 3-on-3. You know, there's a lot fewer games, right? I don't mean to be the old guy who just says AAU is ruining basketball. AAU is ruining basketball, but that's a part of it, at least. You can't play 5 games on a weekend or 4 games in a weekend and have those games each matter. Whereas over in Europe, some of those youth clubs, they're playing 1 game in 6 days, and then the other 5 days are skill work and practice. You need time to practice, implement, film study, etc. That's how you become better at it. To the point of, you know, incentivizing things that pay. That makes sense. If becoming a better 3-point shooter is going to get me into the league, that's what I'm going to work on. Right? If playing defense is what's going to get me to the league, that's what I'm going to work on. But if I play defense and I don't shoot threes, I'm unemployed. So maybe I hone my attention on the 3-point shooting. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
The next comment that we got is from 448 Damon XX. 448 Damon XX said, "Dang, man. Another episode where Ox couldn't make one good take.
Why y'all pick this comment?
Not one good take."
Who picked this comment?
I
don't know, but maybe Damon was cooking, man. I don't know. Maybe Ox didn't make a good take that episode. I don't know.
Damn.
I ain't say nothing that was substantial.
Everyone has an off day. I mean, I watched Fred VanVleet not make a shot last night until there was a minute left. That bum.
But not one.
Man, this is interrupt. I was listening to John Gruden tell a story about Janikowski. But anyways,
Jeff went 0 for 7. It happens. It might just be a low volume night. Ox might have only shot 0 for 2, but technically it's 0 for 2.
All right, look, I'm gonna shoot it till I break it, Mars.
You know what? Something
if he was 0 for 19, then I might be kind of
something
Mars, I'll go over 38. I'm going 1 for something. Believe that.
You're Dion Waiters.
He gonna find the rim.
Something Ox said the other day just kind of sat in my mind, and it just sort of simmered. And he said, "I'm not here for everyone."
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that just kept sticking in my mind. Like, what did he mean by that? And like, I agree with that. I'm not here for everyone either.
I'm so not here.
I get it. I get it.
I think
I don't think anyone.
I'm not here for everybody.
Not everybody gonna love you. No, not everybody is gonna love you.
It's not for everyone to love you.
No.
It's literally impossible. So,
but the thing is, I think I might be here for the people that don't love me. Chill. I'm specifically.
You might be especially here for them.
Yeah, I'm specifically here for them. The
ones that
be that as it may, like some Jesus bars right now.
Be that as it may, Ox, you could give us one. You can't make one free throw.
Hey, free throws are different.
Ox, I will make Ox, if you running with me, I will make sure that you do not go 0 for 29. No, I will get you a bucket around the rim.
Also,
I will make sure of that.
Swiper brought up Jokic shooting 75% from the line. 3 out of 4, like I take that any day.
So I guess
I think that's good.
You're going to shoot them granny free throws.
Ron, you were making a point. Ron, you were making a point about the 5 best players in the league. You talked about Joker, then you said Giannis being the league MVP.
Yeah. So they have their accolades, and then the next person, Luka. Now, albeit he doesn't have a championship, but so far in his early career, he has some milestones that he set. Doesn't have an MVP yet.
He has like 5 straight All NBA first.
Shea has the championship.
That's exactly what I'm about to run to. If you were just to look at the All NBA teams, let's say you never watched anybody play, and the only thing I gave you was All NBA teams, you would see from the moment Luka got in the league, okay, he was a rookie. Then you would see first team. You would think that if you go to his basketball reference page, you're going to see 5 All NBA teams in what, 6 years? That right there goes to show just how good Luka is. And I'm saying that accolade right there is attached to Luka. And then the same thing with SGA. He has
3 straight first teams.
He's about to have 3. He's about to have 3.
Okay.
And then last, and because remember I'm going with Chill's top 5.
Yeah, Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum.
Go praise Jason Tatum.
You know, he All NBAs. He got All-Stars on his resume. He got an NBA championship on his resume. He the Larry Bird
Olympic
trophy.
Golds. No, he doesn't have that.
Yeah, Olympic gold.
Olympic gold.
2 of them.
Yeah.
2 of
them.
Two
of them. One as a Tyrese Halliburton contributor. Yeah.
And this is going to be the 4th straight year that he's first team All Pro.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know if he's going to make it. Let's not project.
But we know Luka going to be first team All Pro.
We don't know that either.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure. I'm going off of I'm going off what I think, and I think Jason Tatum is going to be a first team All Pro this year.
All right, I got a couple. It's funny you said that, Chill.
Yep.
Because I got a couple more comments of the week, and this one is from. Bear with me. This one is from NY Kareem 2001. This is a good guy in the comments, right, Mars?
Oh boy.
He said, Chilltown 2024-25 take/predictions so far. The Warriors suck. Check. Chet and Wemby are made of glass and won't hold up. Check. Joel Embiid only has 2 to 3 years left in the league. Check. Jabari Smith will be a great role player. Check. Jason Tatum is better than SGA. Check. The Rockets will be a top 5 seed. Check. Grizzlies will be a top 2 seed. Check. Denver will be a 5 seed. Check. Cavs will be a top 2 seed. Check. And LeBron James is hanging on too long. Check. OG.
Why are we just checking?
Right quick. Hold on. OG.
Respect OG. Hold on. Come on, man. Julius Randle better than Victor Wembanyama?
Yeah, that was also said.
That's a good take.
Wait, it's more to the comment. He also said
the Minnesota Timberwolves be better. Yeah,
he said OG, Ox, and Jordan are the only ones on the panel that know ball, especially Unk.
Shout out to him, man. Shout out to him. Cool. He's dedicated to his grind.
Proclaim that.
El Mars.
I didn't say that Wemby was made of glass. I just hope he isn't made of glass. That was what I said.
So when did you move off the Wolves will be better with Randall than the Knicks with Cat? When did you move off that? Game 1?
No, it wasn't game 1, but not slowly but surely. But I'm starting to the game this weekend
over.
No. The game this weekend, watching them play the Warriors, I'm like the pendulum is swinging way this way.
Do you still think Julius Randle is good?
Yes, I do. I just don't think he's. Okay. I just don't think that. Like when you're talking about the better players in the NBA, and when I mean the better players in the NBA, I'm talking about the top 20, top 25. Like I don't think he's in that conversation. But I do think I do think he's good though. Yes, I do think he's just watching him. Watching him, he still does a lot of stuff good. He does.
Still, they're getting dominated. They're getting dominated this year for the most part when he's been on the court, like in a lot of games.
I can't believe that we're blaming him for this. This is nuts to me.
Oh no, I'm not.
Hold on, Mars.
I'm
Wait,
not
wait.
blaming
Stop
him
right
for the
there, Mars.
whole of the Wolves' downfall. I'm just saying Julius Randle is who Julius Randle has always been. So like,
sure, okay, Mars, you can definitely stand on that. But when I watch,
Chill, you notice he's been like clear, like they're
okay.
He's
This
really
is what I want to do,
hurting
Swiper.
them.
This is what I want to do, Swiper. I want to make sure that this pendulum swings both ways. Why? Because I'm watching on Saturday. I'm watching the Warriors play Minnesota, and we got a nip and tuck game. And I'm watching in transition. Jaden McDaniels, Curry, that's my guy. In the corner, Alexander Walker, he's got a guy. Rudy Gobert is dealing with Davis Jackson. He's dealing with him. Naz Reid runs all the way to the rim. Doesn't even deal with Paz. No talking, nothing. And what happens? While we got a nip and tuck game, Paz cracks the long ball wide open. He's underneath the basket. Everybody else is covering somebody. This is the kind of miscommunication that's been going on with the Minnesota Timberwolves throughout the course of the year. It's not only Julius Randle. Now, don't get me wrong. Julius has his moments, and I won't argue that. No, I will not argue that. He has his moments, but he also has his moments where he's pushing the basketball and he's throwing lobs to Rudy Gobert. He's pushing the basketball and he's setting screens and diving to the basket and getting the ball to the necessary people and knocking down open shots. That kind of stuff is going on too. So I'm not going to solely put this on him. The Minnesota Timberwolves have a lot of flaws. Anthony Edwards
I don't think anyone was solely putting it on it. It's just that he.
That's what. In fact, Swiper, when you talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves, that's the first person you bring up. That's the only guy you bring up.
The team is worse, and we also brought up before the season that the spacing was going to change, and that because of that, and because of the way Julius plays, it was going to make life more difficult for their best player and their second best player, and it has functioned.
I think the reason we harp on Julius Randle so much is because I've been up here since I've been up here trying to say Julius Randle is not as good as this box score suggests, and I've got pushback mainly from you, Chill, and Ox. You guys have disagreed with me the whole time, and then Swiper came up here and he kind of joined me on the side of this Julius Randle guy is not very good. And then he goes to the Timberwolves. And not only have I heard you say Julius Randle is better than Victor Wembanyama, I've heard you call him a dirty work guy. I've heard you say he's one of the best players in the NBA. I've heard you say he's a 25-10 guy. All of these things I've heard you say.
Sure.
So then when I'm watching him play for the Timberwolves, and all of the things I've said about him for 2 years now are still happening, I think that's why we talk about Julius Randle the way we do. If you were right about Julius Randle and just joined me and Swiper and said he wasn't that good, we probably wouldn't blame Julius Randle as much as we wouldn't talk about Julius Randle as much as we do. But because I feel like I enjoy saying I was right and you were wrong. So every time Julius Randle is Julius Randling, I'm gonna bring it up because it's another reminder that I'm right and you were wrong. But if we just never spoke about him, I don't think I would have to harp on it as much personally. But like when you say Julius Randle is better than Wemby, and then 3 weeks later, you say Wemby is the best player under 23 in the NBA. That means you are actively saying that Julius Randle is the best player on the Timberwolves. That's what you said.
Which isn't true because clearly Anthony Edwards is.
Yeah. So when you say things like that, I feel compelled to have to bring up all of the nonsense that Julius Randle was doing.
Fair enough.
It feels like an obligation.
He just had an oopsie daisy moment.
Fair enough.
Brain slip.
Feels like an obligation.
Fair
That's
enough.
what I'm saying.
Fair enough.
No,
Fair
but I think we do this because I do this. I can't speak
Fair
for
enough.
Mars, but I do this because I love Chill. That's my brother. I just want him to get off this. Julius Randle had held him in captivity for too long now. Randle has never been one of my favorite players. I've never liked Julius Randle's game. Never. There's never been a point in time since he's been at his apex. He had 1 year, Chill, in the COVID year with the 24, 10, and 5 year where he went 38% from three or whatever. It was him, Larry Bird, and Jokic.
You don't like him as a rookie?
Yeah, he was
real.
He
broke his
was
leg.
yeah.
Yes,
It was
he did.
the only three
Before
people would
that.
ever have the stat line he put up were Jokic, Bird, and Randle. That's how good he was that year, and he made an All-NBA team. And then the next year, I think he didn't deserve it. And then, or the next one he got that I think Laurie should have got that spot. And I think because he was in New York, Chill, I think that's why people were boosting him. But I've watched that man play so many games, and he is one of the worst decision makers, especially in the clutch, because he thinks he's something he's not. And the way he will go about trying to score the basketball with that bulldog, bully you to the basket, try to
works,
muscle
though.
you into,
But it works,
it
though.
doesn't. No, Chill. I'm
does-
telling you, I
it
have watched this man in multiple clutch games ruin the team because of what he does, and then I've watched him in the playoffs do nothing, just do nothing. He's just out there. But again, he's really good at times, Chill. But I think the thing is, he like he gets those numbers and people love it. And like, you know what I mean? He has a nice left-handed stroke, you know, with the basketball and all that stuff. So I think people really like the way he shoots and all that.
Yeah.
But chill. You said he was you had him above Wemby, and I'm just like, wait.
I did. Yes, I did.
Are we watching the same Wemby from last year? Like the Wemby the last 40 games of the year was going crazy. You were like, yeah, and then he's an A. You know what I mean? On the A tier list, he's not even an A for the Wolves. He would be better served as a B- to a C.
But then when I'm watching I'm watching them over the weekend play against the Golden State Warriors, and as much as of the effort that we talk about with Julius Randle, I mean, this also resonates throughout the rest of the crew in terms of defense. I don't know if y'all watch this, but the Warriors, we get into the last 3 minutes of the third quarter to close to 6 minutes in the fourth quarter. The Warriors had 8 straight trips where they scored. Minnesota was not able to get a stop. 8 straight trips. And then it came down to, again, my best player is better than your best player. And it was obvious where the gap was between Steph Curry at that point and Anthony Edwards. The gap was getting wider and wider. Steph knew exactly where he wanted to be. Steph knew exactly how he wanted to get shots. He knew where he wanted to get those shots. I can attest that, sure, Julius Randle could have rebounded a little bit more than what he did, 100%. But I'm also watching Alexander Walker and Anthony Edwards doubling Andrew Wiggins on the baseline in transition, and nobody's talking. Nobody. So, sure, Julius Randle has something to do with this, but this is a discombobulated Minnesota unit, particularly on defense. It's not just about him. It isn't.
He's their worst defender.
Even if that's true, they still have so many other problems. So just because he's their worst defender, that doesn't mean that they don't have other problems in addition to him.
He's literally walking to spots and not rotating and not getting back by choice consistently.
Or is he just unaware of his responsibilities?
Nas Reed is blowing the sign.
You're too old. You're too old. Right? He's too old.
No, I'm asking because I'm at the point where the more I watch the Timberwolves, A, the more I start feeling bad for Ant. And B, the more I'm like Julius Randle is one of the worst defenders in the NBA. Like, especially away from the basketball. I seen someone say on Twitter, and I agreed with it. Julius Randle is that guy who, as long as his matchup doesn't score, he feels nothing is his fault. If his matchup, for example, against the Warriors, if his matchup was hypothetically Brandon Podziemski, if Brandon Podziemski doesn't score on a possession, Julius Randle feels he's done his job. Ignoring the fact that he's probably meant to tag a roller, ignoring the fact he's probably meant to rotate to Steph Curry, ignoring the fact that he has other responsibilities. If his man doesn't score, he feels that he's probably done his job on defense and it's someone else's fault.
I don't know.
And I'm just watching him not make rotations. I'm watching Steph Curry get free on the wing. He's guarding Gary Payton in the corner, and he ignores him. He ignores Steph Curry for Gary Payton. What can I say about that? Can I say it's a lack of IQ? Can I say it's a lack of effort? What am I meant to say when every time I watch him, he's giving up layups in transition? When every time I watch him, he's blowing assignments. When every time I watch him, he's leaking out instead of trying to crash for defensive rebounds. When every time I watch him, he's not helping Rudy Gobert on the glass. When every time I watch him, he can't defend a pick and roll. When every time I watch him, he's running away from assignment. Like, what am I meant to do? Even if I didn't have my Julius Randle things that I've said for 2 years, if I was a new basketball fan and I just watched Julius Randle, someone said, look at this Julius Randle guy, he's an all-NBA player. And I just watched him. What am I meant to do when I see that? Every time I watch him. It's not like it happens sometimes. Every game I watch him, I see that. What am I meant to do? Am I meant to just ignore that because he averages 20?
No, you're not meant to ignore it, Mars. No, I'm not saying that part, but I think that you over-exaggerate when you say every time he's missing assignments, every time he's not crashing the glass.
He's saying every time I watch him, he does that.
Right, and that's just not what's going on. Right, and
I guess
that's just not going on every time because he is rebounding. Right, he might not be rebounding to the level that I thought he would. He might not be playing defense to the level that I thought he would.
But you realize you don't make excuses like this for any other player, especially the way
I'm not making any excuses. I'm recognizing that Julius Randle isn't as good as I thought he was going to be this season. I'm not making any excuses for Julius Randle. I'm not saying.
But who else do you give effort passes to like that? Who else do you give effort passes to like that in the NBA?
Joker.
No, because that's what I'm saying, Chill. That it's not even in the same realm. That's why sometimes, like, I think we get so stuck up on these points. that like Joker, I can understand, especially even yesterday. He was horrible. We'll get to this, horrible defensively. Some of that was just disengagement. Some of that was once he got in foul trouble, chill. Some of that, once he got in foul trouble, it was Olay to the rim, 1,000%. But I also know Joker locked up in the second half, especially in the fourth quarter, because that's what typically happens. So I'm saying that, like, when we get to and then on the other end, chill, like, if Julius Randle was like a top 25 offensive player, then maybe you might have something there. But he's not. He has clear flaws, things he doesn't do on the offensive end. He provides no spacing for that team, no passing for real. I'm talking about real passing, not like obvious right in front of your face, like none of that stuff. He doesn't connect their offense at all. Anthony Edwards is shooting so many threes a game, and he's having to deal with no spacing, and the coach even knows it. The coach even knows. He even acknowledged that he has to do what he's doing out there because of what's in front of him. He's seeing trees on his own team. Functionally, it doesn't work, and I understand. I factually get that the reason why they had to make the trade was financial. But I'm also saying the team is drastically different, and it's worse with him on the court as opposed to Karl Anthony Towns by a pretty sizable margin this year, Joe. And look at what he's doing. Look what Cat's doing with the same personnel that Julius played with last year. The same personnel. Look how well he's playing. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm just saying, like, it's like night and day. Cat's having his best year ever, and the team is functioning better than it's ever been. And he's going to be
not really the same personnel. That's really not a fair point.
With Mikal, let's say
really
without Mikal.
Mikal Bridges is there. OG Anunoby wasn't there for the was
no, they were. He was. No, I'm saying
season.
when they were there, they were like 23-2, like whatever the record was. Like when he was on the court last
play
year.
that much, so he wasn't able to get any sort of continuity with him.
It's
saying
not like
OG
the Knicks
on the
with
court.
OG and Randall were bad.
The what?
The Knicks with OG and Randall weren't bad.
No, I'm saying they were dominating. Yeah, I'm saying when OG was on the court, I want to believe they lost 2 games last year. Like they were like
top of the Eastern Conference last year.
That's what I'm saying. Like
the Knicks were at the
But
top.
But again, Karl Anthony Towns functionally is like
they're not at the top of the Eastern Conference this year, and a lot of that had to do with Jalen Brunson.
Hang on 1 second. There's a point to be made here also about look at the Knicks defense this year. It's one of the worst defenses in the league. Why?
Well, no Mitchell Robinson, yeah, for sure. Cat's not a defender.
Well, no Mitchell Robinson, no Isaiah Hartenstein, but you got a 7-footer back there who, in theory, should be able to block some shots.
But you already know, Joe. I'm not even trying to argue, but he's obviously he has never been that. Like he hasn't been that in years. Like his defensive days have long been behind. But offensively, like I'm saying, like they're obviously like making like several leaps forward. They're the best offense in the NBA, I think, in the last
there's defensive regression, and then there's what's happened with Karl Anthony Towns on the defensive end. Why is he not more bought in on that end?
I think he's bought in. I think he just sucks.
Yeah. I don't think it's not a bought in thing.
But because he's so good offensively, we kind of that he's the exception.
I don't ignore it. I think the reason
we giving him that Joker treatment,
which I understand. I get that 100%. I get
because
that.
their defense sucks. And I think Cat at the 5 is a recipe for disaster defensively. I think Rudy Gobert. I said this when he was in Minnesota. Everyone was praising his defensive improvement. I said Rudy Gobert is covering up a lot of his flaws, and being able to use him as a primary post defender, where that's like the only place where he's actually competent on defense, is a one-on-one post defender. Everywhere else, he's still bad. It's just that, especially that Denver matchup where everyone, like when people watched the Timberwolves more, it was in that Denver matchup. That was the marquee series. So when he's guarding Jokic in the post, and everyone's like, oh my God, Jokic is the best player in the world, and Cat's doing a good job on him. It's like, oh my God, Cat's improved defensively. But when you watch him during the regular season and you watch him in series outside of that series, the Sun series, he was actually pretty good as well. But when you watch him outside of that scope of the playoffs and next to Rudy Gobert, he's still trash on defense. He's been trash on defense for like 8 years. Like, Cat's been really good this year because offensively, he's been so valuable for the Knicks. Defensively, he's still terrible. And I'm acknowledging that. But with Julius Randle, it seems like it's not acknowledged that he's also a terrible defender. And I don't know why. But anyway. Yeah.
It's widely acknowledged by most people who watch basketball that Julius Randle is an awful defender.
Talking about this panel. That's what I'm talking about. This panel.
Okay.
Ox hasn't called him a terrible defender. I think he's actually called him solid before. And I know Chill hasn't. And I don't know Ron's opinion, but Ron is wrong.
You know what? I've noticed something. When dudes look strong, they get like a 20% defensive boost.
20%?
Yeah, at least 20%. Like if a dude is like really ripped and he's got like big biceps and he snarls a lot and like he does a lot of talking. No, I'm telling you, like, and he's very emotional on the defensive end. Like when he gets beat, he's like slapping his hands and he's like, ref, come on, man, bullshit call. They get like a 20% vibe boost on defense, but it doesn't actually stop anybody from scoring.
What May said, kind of like ugly dudes. They seem tougher. No, not at all. No, not at all. Just because you ain't easy on the eyes does not mean you tougher. No. Mm-mm. And because you got more muscles, yeah, you might be onto something with this, Pen. Yes, 100%. You might be onto something with this. So it is when I watch the Minnesota Timberwolves, because I watch a lot of Minnesota Timberwolves basketball, and like any other player, it becomes hard to defend Julius Randle when I see the lack of effort, when I see him blow assignments, blatantly just blow assignments, when I see him in drop coverage, not even try to challenge shots. It almost looks like he doesn't know how to guard and drop. I mean, Rudy actually stays connected in drop, where he's not as close, but he's not as far away. So he's far away enough where he can get to the pass, but he's close enough where he can recover. I'm not sure if Julius Randle even knows how to play drop. When I watch him in drop coverage, it's almost like he's begging for help for a guy to come, get over here and help. And I think that's a microcosm of what the Minnesota Timberwolves are, if I'm being honest with you.
All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and transition. I got some super chats, but I have one more comment of the week that didn't get put on the screen. So let's do it. NY Kareem 2001.
He got 2?
Yeah. He's
dedicated, man. I'm telling you, he's dedicated.
Mars is the Steve Jobs of bad basketball takes.
He's been my hater for like over a year now at this point.
What's your arch nemesis?
Well, no, I just acknowledge
we have
his existence.
Arch Prime, and then we have
I just acknowledge his existence as one of my biggest haters, and I replied to one of his comments saying I appreciate his dedication, because I think it's honorable that he's been as dedicated as he has been to hating me. Because obviously, I'd be in the comments like he's there. I want to say 80% of streams. Yeah, he's
Mars.
He's really,
you might
really
have to just go full blown Chilltown crash out on him.
No, because I mean, I'm fine with like whatever he's saying. Like I'm a bit.
Mars,
sometimes I read some
aggression
because sometimes he'll give some of his takes like in the comments, and I'm like, he makes good points. Like sometimes he makes good points in terms of like actual like basketball takes, and I'm like, I can see what he's saying. I can agree with that. And then he'll end it with like something completely away from topic that I never even said, and then just use that to say I don't know basketball. But like the actual like basketball take he'll leave in his comment, it's like that's valid. I think that's an interesting way to look at it. And then it'll be like, and this is why Mars doesn't know ball. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess. But like the basketball part of it was cool. So I want to shout out to him. Like he's like a runaway, like biggest hater award. Like he would win that unanimously. The only one who comes close is like Malik Wilson, and he really fell off. Like he started hating me like right after I went on my spiel about Paul George. If you remember when Paul George spoke about his contract situation with the Clippers, and I went on like my spiel saying how I'm tired of Paul George and like just like the excuses that he's always making. From that point on, then Malik Wilson started hating on me like majorly, but then like it died out like in the off season, and he hasn't really been.
Mars
on that
is
level.
So generous. He's given awards to his haters.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I think it's like I think it's kind of cool that you can be dedicated enough to hating on someone who gives their basketball opinions on the internet. Like, I think some part of it's kind of sad, but part of it's kind of cool. Like I have a hater.
Mars, what do you think that is? What do you think that is? Because I have a lot of people that go out of their way to make pictures of me, videos of me, memes of me.
They're
take
all
my pictures on their phone.
I'm all of them.
I see what you're trying to do. You're not getting off the hook that easy.
I see Swiper in the timeline falling victim to the pressure of Westbrook.
The hate is real, Swiper. Yes, it is.
I'm gonna be honest. I will never understand like the minds of someone who hates on like people who just talk basketball on the internet. I'll never understand the minds of like how you can be that dedicated to just despising them because of like their opinions on basketball. Like that's
imagine that, Marv.
I don't know what it is. Like, especially when you get to the point of like actual threats on my life. Like, there's no way it's that serious. Like, there's just no way. Like, there's no way. There was someone, because I said James Wiseman wasn't good, he wanted to fight me. And I'm like, come on, like let's be serious. Like, it's really
should have taught him run the fade.
It's really not that.
Don't want to fight. Mars, I just talking.
It's I'm just like, I wonder what goes through the minds of people like that. But that's why also NY Kareem, he doesn't incite violence towards me. He's an ethical hater. I respect it. He's an ethical hater. He'll just say I don't know basketball, or like I make the show worse. He's called me a narcissist. All the things that I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Mars, you think you're a little narcissistic?
Absolutely. I mean, for sure. So like that's why I say like I think he makes very valid points. Me bringing down the quality of the show, that for sure happens from time to time. Me being narcissistic, that's absolutely true 100% of the time. Me thinking I'm better than everybody, absolutely, I think I'm better than.
Yeah, I'm never gonna forget you saying that shit about.
That's the English
strokes.
Yeah, like so, like I feel like what makes NY Kareem such a good hater is that some of it is founded on truth. Some of it about me is true, and that's what makes someone a good hater. The bad haters are like they just start making up nonsense. He does that sometimes with like he'll say I said something I didn't say, like it loses me a little bit there. But like overall, like the character attacks seem to be mostly well founded. And then he also has like basketball reasonings that's like Mars is stupid and here's why, and then he gives like a coherent basketball statement. It's like I actually I might agree with him. I might not agree with like the conclusion, but like the thought process, like that's kind of valid. So that's why I respect NY Kareem. He's gonna use like this whole long rant I went on saying I derailed the show and make the show worse. And I'm probably gonna agree with him in the comments.
We got 3 hours, Mars. You could derail the show a little bit.
Yes, you did.
No, because they're going to talk about the fact that I get impatient when other people derail the show, having pointless debates, and I've just spent 15 minutes derailing the show.
You 100% turn us off.
Exactly, and that's why I think his
100%.
character attacks are well founded. That's why I respect him as a hater.
Matter of fact, Mars,
you spitting right now.
I read NY Kareem's comments as
I'll stand with NY and chill.
Hater of me, I read his comments and I'm like, I low key agree with him. And I got some people who just be saying my name for no reason, but him it's like I know what to expect, and sometimes I'm not gonna check myself because of what he said, but like I'll look at what he said and be like, I agree with you. I'm just gonna keep doing it anyway because I'm narcissistic.
Well, you know
what?
Like,
at least you pointed out my narcissism.
Mars. In the spirit of what you're doing, I want to say something to Penn because people were at me like, you see what Penn said to you about on the episode on Friday. When he went off when you went off camera. I was just like, I went back and watched it. I was like, I mean, Penn, Penn and I are actually friends. I don't think people know this. We've actually, we're good friends.
Does Penn know that?
Good.
Yeah, I don't know Penn's aware of that.
Penn does know that. Penn does know that.
Well, make sure
Penn feels like I should stand on business more, that I shouldn't just agree. But here's the thing, Penn. At this point, it's all fun to me. You know why? Because this isn't real. We're talking about a sport. You know what I mean? Most of these people in the chat, they never played a sport. I'm a better athlete than everybody up here, except for maybe one person. So, like, it doesn't really mean anything to me. I'm not moved by this, but it is indeed fun. It is indeed fun. To be called a casual by a bunch of 15-year-olds or people mad because I was right about Joker and they weren't. Or now at this point, FC Russ, they're after me because even though I was the only person in Denver media that said Russ is going to be good here, I'm not high enough on him. And so I'm getting slandered. And then Penn is like, oh, if you're going to do that, don't agree with something just because you're doing blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, look, I'm going to give the people what they want. And you, Ron, you're the biggest casual up here. The biggest casual up here.
No, I don't care about no tags.
You say the most outlandish things and don't got to prove nothing. And don't got to prove nothing, not one time. What about
can you give Russ his credit?
I give him credit all the time. What else you want me to do? So I can't talk about him the same way I would talk about any other player.
No. You can criticize him. Give him his credit. Make sure that the criticism is as loud as the credit.
But then you know what? What's funny when I defend this is Ox when Ox wants to step into the casual bucket. When I defend Russell Westbrook against Penn, when Penn says he's not a top 50 passer ever, he's like, "Where's his energy? The only reason you care about this is because Westbrook is a Nugget now. The only reason you care about this is because he plays for your team now." When I've always liked Russ. But that's the thing. Y'all try to put me in a box. Y'all try to put me in a box. None of y'all can put me in a box. No, I can't be put in a box. I'm an untamed mind.
Chill. What you got to understand, Chill, is winter vacation.
Uh-oh.
I got too much going on.
That's a fact. You're right.
I'm chilling.
Yeah, I forgot. Especially you. This week is crazy. Yeah, you're right.
I'm chilling.
My issue with that I addressed when you went off there.
I feel you. I had to shoot videos with a bunch of 8, 9 to 6-year-olds for church yesterday for 5 hours. Oh my gosh. I went to sleep. straight after.
My issue was that you responded to the Jokic stuff. And people are telling me I'm a coward in the chat. I'm like, yo, I don't need it. I started talking and you left. That's how. Well, no,
you had just started when I was leaving. So I mean, that's not the same.
In fairness, but I definitely didn't talk shit about you because you left. Like to anyone in the chat.
I mean, it sound like you did to me. That's all I'm saying. Sound like I left the mic.
Chill, I'm not doing anything. I'm down here in the bottom right corner.
Come on the
And they
panel,
up here-
and I am already gritting my teeth and ready to scream. Okay, so I don't need you to leave for me to start screaming. But I'm gonna say this: I don't appreciate wasting half an hour to an hour of you being like, all right, okay, cool, that's cool. Jokic is not good. That's cool. You know, like the sarcasm.
You opted out of a PCL debate. You realize that you don't get to stay. You don't get to say anything to me about that. You opted out of
that.
PCL
Backfired magically. I thought I was going to show you up because of the KD shit.
Oh, okay. That
was the point of it.
Pin, when's the last time you beat me in a debate, Pin? When's the last time?
Every goddamn day.
Oh yeah.
Every time I'm on here, sight unseen.
Russell Westbrook not a top 50 passer all time. You know you got laughed at by the NBA. By the way, and then you know what I mean. You got laughed at.
Yo, do know we can set it up right now, and I'll take it back.
Ron,
to the
Ron,
PCL.
you still ain't gone. Ron, you still ain't gone. You don't. No, Ron. There's an order. There's an order to the
drop that Kentucky woman, Ron.
There's an order to the whooping. Ron, you are up first. You haven't got a chance to stand all business not one time versus not nobody because you hide in the background as a fake host. Jerry Springer back there. You need to get in the chair. You need to chair yourself.
As a matter of fact, me and you not even gonna do PCL. I'm gonna cook you on the parlay.
I bet.
Yeah. Big stage, big screen.
W parlay.
But all right, y'all, we got some super chats, so let's go ahead and dive into these. That was a nice little intermission.
Yeah, crazy.
Imagine that.
We ain't got to one game, by the way. Can we get to a game, please? Let me know.
Yeah,
we will. We will.
I had more fun talking about.
By the way, Ox. Matter of fact, I did Locked On NBA last night. Thought about you, Ox. The De'Aaron Fox thing. I wanted to know how you feel. Like,
okay, we'll get to that. Ron, super chat, sir.
That's big news. That's big news.
You know what else is big news? Super chat.
Lipscomb Jr. said, as a devout Spurs fan for over 2 decades and a lover of basketball in general, the lack of rivalries is the real reason why viewership is down. Sports in general is built on rivalries, and it's not beneficial to overlook that.
And you know why rivalries, like to Pin's point, where are the rivalries? All we care about is NBA championships. Just so you know, the rivalries were in the division. Philly, Boston, Indiana, or the Bulls in Detroit. That's where the rivalries were. They were in the division. That's why the Bulls had those banners hanging up in their building of being the Central Division champions. That's why the Miami Heat have those Atlantic Division championships hanging up in their building, because that was a rivalry between them and the Knicks. They were in the same division. So that's where the rivalry started, and then it spilled over into the playoffs. We don't have that anymore. No, we don't. Because all that matters is NBA championships.
Do you believe other fans hated Jordan in the 90s?
One more time.
Do you think other fans hated Jordan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody hated Jordan, right?
It was
people hated.
He was a hero to the international community for elevating basketball to the main stage of the world, like putting it on par with soccer, putting it on par with like the biggest sports in the world. Sure. Bringing it to the main stage as opposed to a niche thing that Americans like to enjoy and certain European, countries like to enjoy, popularizing it. But the main thing that made him such a great hero was he was also such a great villain.
Fair enough.
Like he was so cocky. He was so cocky. He was so arrogant, and we hated it, but we loved it. I'd say, like, as a Knicks fan, I used to get shudders watching that dude walk into Madison Square Garden. Like, what is about?
Jay knew he was better than everybody. He knew he was better.
You know who's doing a good job right now? Trae Young. Shout out Trae Young. That dude's doing a great job of being a villain.
Jay knew he was better than everybody.
That's what you need. But you know what the thing is? When we talking about short-term content, Bronny James, that's short-term content. Okay. When I'm talking long-term content, Trae Young versus New York is long-term content. Doesn't matter if he's on the Hawks, doesn't matter where he is. That dude will get booed every single time he comes to New York for the rest of his life. And that is good, because if I'm a Knicks fan, I'm watching that, right? People need to be themselves. I don't need to get all philosophical on this, but people need to be themselves. They can't be passive-aggressive. They can't be fake. They need to be real. People can sniff it out, okay? The reality is great stories are built on truth, not fabrications, not politically correct speech. Truth be told, when Shaquille O'Neal said these refs are fucking terrible, Sacramento Queens, people would cancel someone for saying Sacramento Queens today. But you know what Shaq saying Sacramento Queens made me want to do? It made me want to tune in to watch Shaq play the Sacramento Kings. How are they going to respond to that? See, there's some pride and machismo, and there's a real animosity and anger to it. You know what I mean? Like when he's saying it, you tell it. I mean, I know he'd be trolling sometimes, but like you could tell he like really doesn't like these dudes. You know what I mean?
And that's where it is right there.
And I'm not afraid to go anywhere. But to be honest with you, Ox, Arco Arena was not a nice place to sit in. It wasn't.
Oh, no, Arco different.
That was not a nice place to be.
Oh man, I miss Arco. I
That
love
was not a nice
but
place.
I miss Arco.
I knew going into Arco Arena, I was like, okay, I might have to. I'm not saying that I will, but it might turn into something with me being in here. So I got to be prepared for that. Arco Arena was not a nice place to be. No, it wasn't.
But I do want to speak on that though, right there,
Okay.
Pen. What you were saying, though, Pen. That's where it's at. Like, it doesn't have to be necessarily a rivalry, but I know, like for me, like back when I was an athlete, I genuinely hated everybody that didn't have my jersey on. Like I genuinely hated everybody else out there, the refs, the other team, the other coach, the fans. I hated everybody. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if me and him worked out together during the summertime, on the weekends, like if we not together, me and them, but like with our trainer. If we had the same trainer, and I might see you all summer, and even our AAU team. Our AAU team was a mix of Sac High and the Thomas High School. That was our AAU team. It was a mix of them. But when we seen the Thomas during the school year, we beating the hell out of them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we hate everybody, and I kind of miss that. Like I like that. I love arrogant basketball. I love arrogant sports. I love assholes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we do. Like that's Kevin Garnett, my favorite player of all time, because he was a jerk. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't have no love for nobody that didn't have his jersey on. I love that. I just think we need a little bit more of that. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to be like a Lakers Celtics thing. It's a me versus everybody thing.
To Penn's point, I mean, Jordan had a very arrogant way about it. He knew he was better than everybody else, but in a classy kind of way. But he knew it. I'm better than all you dudes. Every last one of y'all. It's not going to be in your face. It's just going to be, I'm better than all of y'all.
Kobe was like that too.
By the way, I just want to say this for people that don't know this. Again, because genuinely chill, Penn, Ox, because you're all over 30. Ron too. Mars is not. Anybody that didn't get a chance to watch Jordan, when playoff time came around in the late 90s,
you missed it.
And Michael Jordan, and that theme song came on. It was lights out. It was Ox. It was over as soon as the first round started, and you heard that intro in Chicago. I'm telling y'all, there wasn't a player that had more aura, the word that everybody want to use, than Mike.
It's not aura. You know what?
Whatever fear, whatever it was.
No. I'm gonna give you the perfect word.
When that music came on,
gravitas. That's the word. Gravitas.
Gravitas. Yeah, gravitas, great word too. Man.
That's the word. I'm not familiar with gravitas. I'm sorry. I don't know what gravitas.
No, you've heard it. I've said it before. You've heard it.
It sounds like a mixture. It sounds like a mixture of gravity and something else.
It's a good word. But Penn, to your point, Penn, when the lights dimmed and then that Bulls icon came on the middle of the court, man, it was over, bro. It might, and especially if he came out in them pinstripes, chill, them black. Just go ahead and leave. Just go ahead and leave. Hey, Ox, just go ahead and leave.
Yeah.
From the vibe test of players that I genuinely felt that way about: Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant. I cannot think of a fourth name in the last 25 to 30 years that I have felt that level of, oh, I don't know what's about to happen. This is crazy.
No, we don't bet it. We didn't bet against Kobe. That's something you don't do.
Most annoying thing ever.
But you know what those three players had in common? They were all assholes.
Wait, who'd you say? You said Jordan, Kobe, and
Iverson and Kobe.
Iverson.
They were relentlessly. They were not afraid to be the bad guy. They were not afraid to be themselves, and they were authentically themselves. They weren't some curated social media version of themselves. People are so afraid to be themselves. But you know what? One thing that I noticed, and I'm gonna say this as a person who has watched Scotty Barnes since grade 10. That dude was a straight up asshole in high school. One of the he did dancing and. The league is trying to
the league. That's
no. Shout out.
I'm not going there. I'm saying when he got to the league and he's responding and he's trying to do some. Yeah, Scotty has this really terrible habit, which he's been doing since AAU, where every single time he's on a fast break, he looks back at the defender.
I love when Scotty Barnes does that too. By the way,
me too. I love when he did that shit at Montverde when they're blowing teams out by 60, 70 points. But he gets to the league and they want him to cut that out. They give him a tech the first time he looks at a referee the wrong way. They're giving him a tech for the first time. He literally exited the Denver game saying, y'all cheating. And I loved him saying that because honestly, the way the whistle was going, it felt like they were cheating. But they're going to fine him for that. This league is neutering their athletes. That's the problem. You cannot get aggression even 1% up before they start calling technical fouls and throwing you out of the game. Nick Claxton, the other day, I watched Nick Claxton throw the ball into the crowd, and he got ejected from the game for the third time.
Second time, I thought it was the second
third time, I believe.
Why would you throw the ball into the fans?
Why are you?
He did it for no reason too. I don't know what happened prior to that. I just seen that play. I don't know if he was fed up or I don't know if they were hacking him.
We can agree that refs go a little far. We can agree that the NBA is getting soft. We got to also understand you got to have some impulse control. You are a grown ass man. Why are you throwing shit?
They didn't call a call on him. They called a call for him. Somebody fouled him.
Players,
it was an open court foul.
Ron, I don't care what happened. Why are you throwing stuff into the stand?
Well, this is what I'm saying. It was for him though. Like
I get what you're saying, Ron, and that makes it even crazier. But I'm just saying, like, I don't care if the refs are cheating. You're throwing shit into the stands. That is crazy. You got to have some type of impulse control. When these players, y'all know I hate it when the players get to crying to the refs. Draymond in particular gets to crying to the refs like he said something to me. Kick him out of here. I mean, go play basketball.
You mean like over the weekend when Draymond was crying to the ref when Zach Edey was handling his ass down in the post?
Oh my God! But don't forget what he said before that about how Zach Edey
Zach is soft.
And Taylor Jenkins turning him soft and all that. But I don't want to get into that.
I mean, that's the best team in the West. It's
going to turn into a hate session if I get to talk about Draymond. But I'm saying though, like to your point about the whole thing, though, Pin, like I get what you're saying, and I agree with you. I think the refs are being a really soft on fans. Like I just last week I brought up how when DeAndre Hunter dunked on Wemby and he got a tech for flex on him, like that was dumb to me. Like we need that in the league. I need if I
that's
catch
part of basketball, Ox.
Right, if I catch a body, believe me, I'm flexing on my victim. So if you're gonna give him a tech for that, that's crazy. But throwing stuff into the stands, like that's
wrong. Ox is,
I used to
you deserve
all
to
the time. That's the edge. That's the edge, though. You need that edge as a competitor.
That's just being a crybaby. Imagine. That's how you start a Malice in the Palace type situation. You throw like if you get to like imagine if I go to the game and I got my son and my daughter with me and Nick Claxton gets the bug now and throws the ball and he hits my daughter. I'm rushing the floor.
Oh my God!
Like you got to have some type of impulse control. When Steph Curry threw his mouthpiece, if that mouthpiece hits my wife, hits my mom, hits my daughter, I'm kicking Steph ass. Somebody better grab me before I get to him. Like, bro, you gotta have some impulse control. What are you doing?
All right, y'all. We about to dive back into these super chats. Ox did mention something about KG, and we recently had a clip on social media that was pretty hot, directed towards KG. If you don't follow us on social media, go check us out. It's just at Players Choice Show on all platforms. But we had a take saying KG would be the best player today in the NBA if he was in the league. And KG just sent us some eye emojis, letting us know that he sees what we're talking about. And I'm assuming he feels what we're talking about because KG knows.
KG would also
he would
disagree
absolutely.
With that, by the way.
What?
KG himself would disagree with that probably, by the way. Just super clear. When KG's never touted himself as the best in the world, just so you know, ever.
Yeah.
In the 2000s, people do it for him.
You don't got to do it. I'll do it.
Yeah, you do it live. Matter of fact, I wasn't here for the last two conversations. Oct was getting.
I'll guarantee
you would have got put in the grill
Kevin
with
Garnett,
me in the fryer.
If Kevin Garnett had this take, he would tell you. He would tell you that Nikola Jokic is better than him. I guarantee you that.
How you know that?
How y'all,
Because I listened to him.
It's no way y'all like Jokic this much to sit here and tell me that another man would say that Jokic is better than him. Another man
we've already had
that
people
is a
do
Hall
it.
of Fame.
People who do it now. What are you talking about? They literally do it.
How many people have said Michael Jordan is better than them?
Nikola Jokic ain't Michael Jordan.
But
That's
wait,
the
hold
issue
on.
What the hell are y'all
Anthony
talking about?
Edwards had it last year in the playoff while they were playing against each other. So like, what is that?
He
I don't
said
understand what
what?
that means. What does that mean?
What did he say?
You
Anthony
bringing up
Edwards
other
and
players
KG.
saying this doesn't mean KG would say it.
No, but he said
He's
no.
not
What
saying
he said, Mars. That's what I'm saying. Stay out of it. He
Hey,
said
hey,
what
Swipe,
other
how you
players
gonna
would
say
do
what
that?
another man
Swipe,
He
would
said
that
what
wolf
other
ain't this
men?
wolf.
What other men would do that? I'm saying, well, there are men that
No,
do
he
do it.
asked
Swipe
how
with
you
him.
know
This
what
wolf
men
ain't
would
that
say.
wolf. And KG. All right, it's a difference.
So if KG,
George
so
called
to
Kawhi Leonard the
Ox's
baddest guy in
point,
the world. What
so
are you talking
to
about?
Ox's point, if KG is better, 2004 KG is better than Joker, right? Does that
Clear
mean Dirk?
Joker.
Does that mean Joker is better than him too? Because last I checked, Dirk Nowitzki used to bust KG ass.
Bust
Well,
his
look,
tail.
we talked about that before.
Dirk not bad,
Was that me and you, Mars, that we talked about
Yeah,
that?
if the
Yeah.
matchups mean you're a better player, yeah. Dirk
Well,
could have
no,
the
no,
advantage
no. I'm
in
talking
that
about Dirk
individual
first.
matchup.
Dirk first Jokic. We've had the Dirk first Jokic conversation, and
Oh yeah, you
Who
got
had
Dirk.
it?
Buddy,
Yeah, you
Who
got
had
Dirk.
it?
You got Dirk. Yeah.
Who had it?
buddy.
When was
No,
this?
Swipe, I don't want to
wasn't
hear
on the
this.
platform.
You had
yet.
a
I
you
wasn't
had
on
a
the platform
Dirk and
yet.
Kobe conversation, so I
I
don't want
wasn't
to
on
hear
the platform
nothing.
yet. In the regular season, yeah. And then guess what? But you know what I did smartly? You know what I actually did? I thought about it. I listened to everyone else's take, and I'm like, you know what? I can slide off that point because for me, I don't really need to be right that much on this issue. You, on the other hand, matter of fact, thing one and thing two, Ox and Ron.
I
Both
can't
of
help
y'all
being
one day,
right. I can't help being right.
whenever
I
y'all
can't
want
help
to do,
being right,
whenever
Spike.
y'all want to do a
I
handicap
can't help
match,
being right,
hold
Spike.
on. Whenever y'all want to set up a handicap match, I'll do it. Tag each other in. Go tag each other and do what y'all need to do.
I
can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Let's set it up at PC weekend. Next PC weekend, we got a handicap match. I already washed Chill when he had Dell on his side. He had Dell on his side. I already beat Chill. So
Hey,
Ron and Ox,
That wolf ain't
however
this
you want.
wolf.
I'll
That
do
wolf
whatever you
ain't
want.
this wolf. All right.
I don't
Know
want.
that.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be a part of you two. You and your this way. Him over there, not you, Mars. Y'all two. I do not want to take part in that. You know what I'm saying? It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Leave me out of that.
And I don't. It's nasty.
Ox,
it's
you
disgusting, and I don't wanna-
you have been
Swiper,
given the
Swiper.
moniker as the
I
Jokic
don't-
hater on the
Swiper.
platform
I don't
with how
care. I
old
don't
and
care.
ugly your takes
That's
are,
fine.
Ox.
That's
Okay,
fine.
thing one
That's
and
fine.
thing two, set
I'll
it up.
be that. I'll be
JD,
that.
Dave,
I'll be
whoever's
that.
listening
I
in
will
the
be- I will
background,
be the
Claire,
commentator.
set it up.
All right.
Set it up.
Wait.
Set
So
it
we
up.
thing one and thing two.
I don't wanna
Y'all
take-
bum and bummer.
Set it
That's
up.
what you two
I
are.
don't-
No, I don't want.
Look at bum and
It took
bummer.
you 30 seconds to come up with that joke.
Look at
Hold
bum
on,
and
Pin.
bummer.
This is no disrespect. This is no disrespect to Pin. I don't need Pin. I want both of y'all at
Well,
the
you got
same
'em.
time.
Swiper.
Put
Well,
them on
you
the skillet.
got 'em.
Put them on the skillet.
Well,
Put
you
them on
got
the
'em.
skillet.
No, wait,
Put
hold
them
on,
on the skillet.
I want
Chill. Put them on the skillet.
I do not want to take part in this thing that y'all two got going on with Jokic.
No,
Leave me out of
stop
it.
doing that. Stop euroing it to other
Okay,
people.
okay,
I'm talking
well,
to
just
you.
listen.
I'm talking
Swiper,
to you,
this
Ox.
This is directed to you, Swiper. I don't want to take part in it. Leave me out of it. You're gonna get some y'all whatever y'all doing. I don't want to. Y'all gonna get some bodily fluid on me or something. Stay away from me with this.
Get in the bag,
What y'all
Ox.
doing, okay,
Get in the
What y'all-
bag,
what y'all
Ox.
doing, stay away from me, all right?
Get in the
y'all
bag,
some
Ox.
assholes, bro. Y'all
Before
some sick freaks. I don't want
Before
no
we
part of
move on, Pin, how do you feel about Swiper being your new tag team champion of the world or tag team partner of the world?
I forfeit.
Damn.
Yeah, I ain't folding for nobody. So let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Sign it up.
Last I checked,
This is like-
last I checked, Pin, an enemy of your enemy is a friend of yours.
I don't
Yeah, I
subscribe
don't got
to
no
that.
enemies.
I don't
These
subscribe
two-
to
yo,
that
Chill, I don't
logic.
got no
I'm
enemies.
everyone's
These
enemy.
two
I
don't-
take
these two
a
don't got the heart.
steel chair
They
and whip
don't
all
got the
y'all
heart
bad.
to go to war with me, chill.
I'm telling you
Yeah,
right
Ox
now.
said that
Look, I'm
something.
saying
Ox
thing
said
one and
that
thing
something.
They
two.
don't got the heart to go to war
Thing
with
one
me,
and thing
chill,
two.
about
We got thing one and thing two. We got and what was the Dudley boys? Both the Dudley boys. Sign it up, Dudleys. Sign it up, Dudley boys. Dudley Boyd versus The Rock. Let's get it. I love it. I can't wait to get it.
You're The
I
Rock?
can't wait.
You
Let's
ain't
do
The
it.
Rock.
Let's get
I've
it.
heard this before.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Here we go.
Over here talking about you cooking. You ain't The Rock.
You Disco Inferno, bro.
That's why I knew it. Oh, because that's how. Remember the Rock used to do that shit, play with his titties on it. That's where you got that.
The
from.
Rock.
That's where you got
Okay.
that.
The Rock
from.
did what?
All right,
Yeah.
fellas, we have
That's
got
where
too
you
far.
got that from,
Rikishi?
Swiper.
We have got too far off topic. Let's go ahead and get back to the super chats and hoop in general. Kays said Jokic just isn't entertaining to most fans. I don't know what else to tell y'all. People will see jab steps, hezzy tween, pull-ups, and insane athleticism. Or that's what people want to see. Sadly, the guys who got that, Shea, Ant, Fox, just aren't good enough to be a face.
It sounds like Joel Embiid, but I mean, I guess. But real quick, back to the thing about KG. KG wouldn't say he was better than Jokic. My issue with that line of thinking, as if that proves that KG isn't better, is when Tim Duncan has said Kobe was better than him. And when Magic Johnson has said Kobe is the greatest Laker. When Shaq has said Kobe was better than him. People will still say that Kobe's not better than them.
Who's these people? Me?
You would say that.
No, I wouldn't.
Ox would say that. Penn would say that. Chill would say that.
All three of
I would
them.
not.
So all of you guys just pick and choose when the player's opinion of who's better than them matters? Is it?
Magic
when it's
Magic
Jokic.
says anything,
Hey,
okay?
if KG say he not better than Jokic, hey, KG said it.
But KG,
Yo,
when
Magic
these
is a
guys say
classic
they're not
people
better than
pleaser.
Kobe,
He will say literally anything.
they just biased to Kobe.
Nah, y'all, one of y'all got it.
It doesn't matter that Tim Duncan went against Kobe many times. That doesn't matter.
Oh wait, so Ron running from the
just saying,
2v1, so he want to set up some
Johnson
nonsense.
is one of the greatest Lakers. He said.
Well,
Kobe's
again, that would make sense, Marge, if I said any of that. They ain't got nothing to do with what I say. So again, removing the conversation away from what it actually was. Marge is bringing up something that I had nothing to do with. So I'm still addressing. I still want my 2v1 with the other one thing too.
I'm asking for logical.
Why do y'all keep putting me on the screen with this dude?
Nah, you want a 2v1? You got it.
I'm asking for logical consistency because
we're just sitting here watching Swiper talk. It's not you. Just put it. Just
welcome
give
to
him his
PC.
own
Welcome
show.
to PC
Just,
Pin.
I
Welcome to
just
PC
want
Pin.
to.
Give him his own show.
Or I just want an explanation of why, if KG were to hypothetically, because he actually hasn't said it, but if KG were to hypothetically say Jokic is better than him, that makes it a valid opinion. But when many of NBA superstars, those who have competed against Kobe, those who have played for the same franchise as Kobe, and those who have played with Kobe, have all said that Kobe was better than them.
Mark,
why does that not hold the same weight?
This is
That's not a straw man. That was your whole crux of the argument of KG.
No.
I don't even think you said that.
That's not a straw man. That's the whole straw man.
Stop talking and listen to what I have to say for a second.
I'll listen. Okay.
I'm not saying that because KG would say that proves that KG is not better. I'm saying KG would say that, period. That's all I'm saying.
What's the point of you saying that? What was the end goal of you saying that statement? KG
but I don't even think that Kevin Garnett would say that. That's all my point was. And therefore, I don't think that it's that absurd to question whether when he does the two eye emojis, right? KG is one of the most humble superstars ever. First of all, this is not a guy who's out pompously trying to gas himself up. He won an MVP not because he campaigned for it like Joel Embiid, but rather because the league justifiably believed that he was the best player in the league that year, and maybe they wanted to give it to him. So he's not a pompous, he's constantly checking dudes. And one of the things that I appreciate about KG is he gives a lot of love to the next generation. There's a lot of haters in the old school that can't give credit to anybody that came after them. Shaquille O'Neal is one of them. No offense. But this guy is constantly like boosting up the game. He's always talking about how talented dudes are. When Paul Pierce says, I could come back and I could play for this team, he'd be like, nah, you can't do that. You're crazy. These guys are so talented. They're so good. So you think that a player
40-something, not because Paul Pierce couldn't do it in his prime.
I understand that. What I'm saying is, for a player who was as high IQ as KG, for a player who was as big a playmaker as KG, you don't think he's seeing the vision of what he was doing on the offensive end being perfected with Jokic and admire that? He'd have to be crazy not to.
Admire Jokic?
Kevin
Garnett?
Admire
Jokic?
He's not
away from the word, away from admiration.
Go listen to him talk about Jokic.
KG,
bro, the guy has a podcast.
KG
He's not
can
hiding
respect
the
this
cake.
era. KG can respect this era, and KG might think Jokic is better than him. Everything you just said doesn't answer my question.
It's just an opinion.
What was the point of you saying when we had because Ron brought up the comment of KG, and he said that the topic of that video was that Ox said KG would be the best player in the world in his peak KG, and KG responded with the eye emojis, and you and Swiper disagreed with that. Jokic is clearly better. Ox is lying. Blah blah blah, and then you said KG wouldn't even say he's better than Jokic.
Yes.
None of what you just said explains what the point of you saying in the context of that discussion. What the point of you saying KG wouldn't even say?
I'm trying to say that KG respects Jokic more than certain people up here.
So
what I'm trying to say is,
he's better than Jokic. He's disrespecting.
I don't think he's that high on himself. I don't think he would put himself as one of the top 10 greatest players of all time. Like a lot of players would.
If he came up here and said it the same way, whether you or Swiper said it, I will call him a
you
damn
know
fool to
his
face too.
You know who I think thinks he's better than Jokic right now? Allen Iverson. Who said he would score 43 points.
AI shows a lot of love to the current game too.
Sure he does. But he also thinks that he would score 43 points in today's game. For real. Like that's what he said. So if he thinks that is so.
I'm not sure I'm following what's going on here. It sounds
he's trying to act like he wasn't appealing to KG's authority of his own status.
That's not what I was saying.
He was absolutely saying if KG wouldn't say he's better than Jokic, why would
over over again doesn't make it
that's
true.
Exactly what he did, and now he's trying to act like that's not what he did.
Right.
That's
Mark, you're not going to tell me what I was thinking.
It doesn't take a genius to figure out within the context.
You're not going to tell me what I was thinking. Y'all brought up two fucking eye emojis.
You see Swipe up there quiet now.
If we just moved on, if we just
you better stay quiet.
If we just moved on, everyone in the chat and everyone who listened to that conversation would know the only logical reason that makes any sense to say KG wouldn't say he's better than Jokic would be to say that if KG wouldn't think it, why would Ox think it? That was the only logical explanation for why someone would randomly say KG
when you use
say he's
eye emojis as validation for this is KG thinks he's better than Jokic. He thinks he's the best player.
That's not what anyone said.
What was the eye emoji meant to say? I see it. And go back and listen to the clip. Was the notion of bringing that up saying, look, KG is agreeing with us?
I was merely just pointing out the fact that KG seen the tape.
That's what I'm telling you. I don't think he agrees with that tape.
You know what it is though, Mars? KG don't remember his game back in the day.
He remember. He didn't remember. Yeah, he didn't remember.
You referencing the memories on the memories thing. Nice. Long-term storytelling. Love it.
All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and move on. MP13 said, yeah, but what Mars is talking about and what the NBA is trying to do is two different things. Mars is trying to cultivate an overall better basketball environment that's structured around quote-unquote good basketball, regardless of teams.
Yeah, it wasn't about talk about Cades and Trae Young and the Hawks and talk about Evan Mobley and then hope that one of them turn into the next face of the league. It was abandon the structure of we need a face of the league, we need a LeBron James, we need a Michael Jordan, and promote the league, promote Shaden Sharp, promote Donovan Clingan, promote the Portland Trailblazers, promote LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller and Mark Williams. Like that's what I'm saying. Go away from that structure. It's NBA basketball discourse utopia that I'm hoping for. Abandon the idea that you need this singular superstar.
This is what's wrong with the league. NBA. Adam Silver agrees with you. That's what's wrong with the league.
He's not doing that at all.
How many of the top picks have gone to the smallest markets over the last few years? They are constantly pushing for more parity across the league. They don't want super teams. They don't want two stars teaming up.
Are you arguing the draft is rigged?
The draft was definitely rigged when Patrick Ewing went to New York. I'll tell you that. That folded envelope.
Okay, 40 years ago. So then David Stern was doing the same thing?
David Stern had a completely different philosophy on where he wanted stars to be and which markets wanted.
Is the Adam Silver draft rigged? With Adam Silver as the commissioner, has the draft been rigged?
I'm not saying the draft has been rigged. I'm saying the lottery odds have been flattened. So they're probably fair across the board.
Tanking, not to get small market teams number one picks. It's to
I'm saying small market to make teams more have gotten.
But Mars, you think the draft is rigged?
Everything.
Yeah, I hate him. We didn't get
right. 100%.
Because I'm talking from a place of bias and hate. In reality, the draft is not rigged. But in my biased heart of where we didn't get Wemby, best believe the draft was rigged. Yes.
When Shaquille O'Neal leaves Orlando and goes to Los Angeles and forms, that dynamic duo that wins a three-peat, he does so largely because the cap and the CBA at the time was structured so that Orlando could not necessarily incentivize him to stay. Whereas right now, players have a great incentive to stay with their teams long term. Why? It's to protect smaller market teams. Everything the NBA has done for the last 15 years is to engage in the parity that you're talking about. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is that the Attitude Era in the WWE was not led by 40 fucking faces. It was one face. Two faces, max.
This isn't the WWE. Like
it's still.
I'm trying to prioritize basketball over storyline. I'm saying in my ideal world,
you gotta sell.
I don't know how. I'm not talking about the business model of the NBA. I'm saying in my ideal world,
This is
You
not.
promote the
Mars
NBA
wants
as a
Mars
basketball
wants the
league.
NBA to be this
Like,
huge rainbow. We're
from
talking about
from the
everybody.
business
That's what
This is what I
Mars
hate
wants.
about this
Let's take the
generation. though.
let's take the
maybe
what I
it's
hate
better
about
from
this
a
generation.
business
That's what
standpoint.
Mars
Maybe
wants
it's better to be
everything.
more like the
Fellas, we got
WWE.
one mic. Keep going,
Sure.
Mars.
Sure.
From a business standpoint, maybe it's better to be more like the WWE. You create storylines. You have a villain. You have this face of the NBA that everyone wants.
That's
You have these
corny.
super teams. From a business standpoint, maybe that makes more money. Cool. I'm saying from my personal perspective, and my perspective is different from the casual fan. I understand that. I'm saying from my perspective, what's best for the game of basketball, not the business of the NBA, the game of basketball is to promote teams, young talent, and what we actually have, as opposed to any time a player on a small market team isn't winning, how can we get them to the Lakers?
That's what they
How
do
can we
in
get
the
to them
NFL.
to the Knicks?
That's what they do
How
in
can
pro
we get them
football.
out of
You
this
know what the
situation?
problem is,
Instead of
That's
that,
what
You're
they're doing
always
in
trying to
instead of
appeal
that
to the larger
recycled nonsense,
base.
anytime
right?
the Bucks
You
go
want
on
to
a
appeal to
four-game
the
losing
Pistons
streak,
fans, the
do we need
Pelicans
Giannis
fans,
out of
the
Milwaukee?
Rockets fans,
Anytime
the
the Bucks
Orlando
lose
Magic
3
fans.
games, Giannis has to leave. Blah blah blah. Instead of that, let's promote the game we have. We might lose some fans in the short term, sure. We might lose those casual fans who aren't interested in what LaMelo Ball has to offer. We might lose those casual fans who aren't interested in what Scottie Barnes has to offer. That is fine. I'm absolutely fine with that. I know the NBA is not. I know Adam Silver wants to make money. That's cool. I'm saying for me, I'm looking at short-term loss. Sure, there will be short-term loss in terms of losing the casual fans who mean nothing to me anyway. They're stupid. They mean nothing to me. I don't care about the vast majority of people. I'm talking about once you start doing that, you will get people who actually enjoy the essence of basketball watching your product. And I think for a product to be really good, the product to be good, not the business model to be good, for the product to be good, people have to be interested in the whole product, not just 3 teams at the top, not just 7 players. If your product is solely predicated on LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry, sure, you might get great viewership. Those finals had great viewership because everyone wanted to see the super team play against LeBron. That's fine. But if you want a whole holistic product to be good, the New Orleans Pelicans and their spotlight with Brandon Ingram and Zion when he's available, that's something that should be pushed. The Washington Wizards, when they get a number 1
Stop
pick next
pushing
year,
narratives and let narratives fly, bro. You know what?
I'm not pushing narratives. I'm saying watch the league.
No, this is
What part of the
okay.
narrative?
Fundamentally,
You're the one trying to create storylines and villains.
Man, I don't think you've heard one word I've said all fucking episode because you just want to talk, and you don't want to listen to one word I gotta say. Which
Come
is
on,
cool.
Mars. Stop being narcissistic and let's get the mic,
cool.
Mars.
But
Mars, you got 2 ears and
You're
1
being
mouth.
a narcissist right now, Mars.
Okay,
2 ears, 1 mouth.
Narratives when
let him get
you
away
have
with
been
one.
talking nonstop at me for like 10 minutes. Can I
Because
respond?
What's your point, Penn? Penn, what's your point, Penn?
My point
You
is,
can't respond with the first thing you say about me not being true. I'm not going to just let that go. You can't be like,
you
stop
have been
pushing narratives
talking
and be
at
like,
me
oh, well,
for
let me
10
finish.
minutes.
Let me finish. The first statement you said was not true about anything I did. So I'm not going to just let that fly. If you're going to say stop pushing narratives, you can't be talking about me because everything I've just said has been about getting away from the narrative. Your whole take on this has been create villains, create storylines, get back to the storylines, get back to promoting all of this nonsense.
So
you're telling me I'm pushing the narrative?
You want my mic too?
I'm trying to get away from the narrative.
Talk to my mic and your mic? You want to talk for me and for yourself right now?
Put it a little closer to him, Pin. Put your mic closer to him.
My point and your point. Yo,
that's what I think.
This is gonna work.
The more I talk, the less you talk, the better the show is. Yes, that's absolutely what I think.
Oh my god.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give Penn his opportunity. All right, Penn, it's just me and you. Get out of here, Swiper. It's just me and you, Penn. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Okay. The way I see it is if you are going to promote a couple of stars, that makes the game easier to understand. You can't be promoting 45 stars, 30 stars. That's the rainbow approach that Mars wants to go with that no business ever does. You got to keep your main thing as the main thing. Now, if you're worried that what if your main thing doesn't make the finals, that means someone beat your main thing. Now they become the main thing. It's the king of the hill argument, right? So if you're going to promote Tyrese Halliburton as being equivalent to Ja Morant, as being equivalent to Zion Williamson, as being equivalent to Scottie, as being equivalent to Cade, I have too many things to focus on. And you know what happens when you have too many things to focus on? You focus on nothing. That's the whole point. Everything in today's generation is giving people options. You know what happens when you give people too many options? They check out. Mentally, they check out. I don't need to know about the 18th best player in the 90s. I know what the 90s was about to me. It was about my team trying to dethrone Michael Jordan. That's what it was about. That's what the 90s was about. And when he left, somebody else had a chance and he came back and it was like, oh shit, here we go again. Okay. I don't need to know like LeBronto, right? That whole thing. Watching LeBron put up 50 points and bounce your team in the playoffs, as much as I hated it, that was cinema, right? LeBron is like a megastar. I don't need to put Ja Morant and Cade Cunningham on that level.
Yeah,
But
I
you
agree.
need to allow the megastars to rise up to the top. You need to allow that to happen authentically, and then you play with it from there. But you can't be trying to tell me, like, I understand the appeal, and you're saying, well, it's good for basketball. I'm not talking about the business of basketball, but the minute you talk about ratings, the minute the conversation here is fixing the NBA's business, fixing the NBA's viewership, the ratings. That's 100% business conversation. And yet we want to bring it to what's good for basketball. Yeah, it's great for basketball that people watch LaMelo Ball and Cade Cunningham. I 100% agree. Right now, tonight, Cade Cunningham is going to go up against the Los Angeles Lakers in LA. That's a big venue. That's a rising star who's possibly on his way to making an all-star bid. The Pistons are playing well. It could be a competitive game. I think people should watch that. I 100% think people should watch that. But you're not going to market that as the marquee game of the night because, you know what I mean? Like you got to have some sort of consistency in your marketing. You got to pick 4 or 5 names. You got to pick the 4 or 5 guys and you got to go all in on them. And if someone beats those guys, if someone is going to bounce those guys in a playoff series, then they will get fame off of that. Look at every player who's gone after Caitlin Clark. Look at every player. They have become famous basically off of it. Any player knocks her out, any player has a scuffle with her, they become a known name. That's how you eat off of it. That's how you eat off the star.
Fair enough.
It's just good economics.
Facts. And that was probably the best rant that I've heard all year. And here we are, 7 days away from the new year. But I agree with you though, Penn. I agree.
Yeah, but that's to the casual fan. The whole Caitlin Clark point, that's to the casual fan. People that really watch WNBA basketball, that have been around WNBA basketball, that's been watching it.
Ox,
We
Penn
can't
is
be
smarter
elitists.
than you.
No,
I
no.
didn't. I don't fight you on that run. I don't fight you. This might be the smartest dude I've ever been around. What I'm saying is that the WNBA that's a casual fan thing. And to Mars's point, we don't give a shit about the casual fan.
But you have to.
No. You have to.
Okay,
I don't
sure.
care about
Sure,
I don't,
sure,
I
sure.
don't-
Every
I don't-
business
I don't-
I'm seeing,
If you
trying
run
to
a
appeal
business-
to casuals,
I don't run the NBA.
They end up just
NBA.
ruining their product. And like, we understand. Okay, business is business. Make profit, capitalism, blah blah blah. Cool. If we want to enjoy the game of basketball, at some point, profit can't just trump everything. If we're talking about actually saving the NBA and saving basketball, it can't just all come down to, well, this is going to be less profitable, so it's not good. Video games are appealing to casuals, and anyone who's actually enjoys those games are now being worse off because they're only appealing to casuals. At the end of the day, we have to realize that casuals in most communities, even if they are a large majority, they should not be, in my opinion, they should not be the focus because they don't care. If you start making things to appeal to people who don't care, you end up falling to their mercy on things that they aren't attached to. Instead of the people who are attached to a product, people who want the best for a product, people who want to see the best of that product, you're catering to people who any little minor inconvenience is going to make them leave. And because they're the majority, you're going to do everything you can to keep them around. And when you do that, you end up coming to these conclusions where we're changing the All-Star game every day. Every day the All-Star game has to change because we want to keep these casuals around, where the main the basketball fans are going to watch. They are going to watch. They want to see the best product possible. They're not enjoying all of these changes that are being made every 2 weeks because you are trying to cater to people who don't care. People who actively don't care. They aren't going to watch. They aren't going to watch. And you're doing everything you can to keep them around.
Are
And
they
you're
watching
hurting the
something
people
else?
who are invested?
Are they
Mars,
watching
if that's
something
true,
else?
Hold on for a second, Penn, because
More than likely.
if that's true, Mars, then how do we get anybody? Because there was one point where we didn't care about this, and then we started to care. And why did we care? How did they get us on the hook? So at one point,
the court was
right.
worth watching.
And at one point we were casual fans and we didn't know much, and then we started watching more, and then we got more involved in the game, and they got us on the hook, right? And how did they? Okay, sure, playing the sport, and there are plenty of people who do play the sport, but how did they get us on the hook? They got us on the hook with stars. And then they got us on the hook with the other stuff. But the stars, I feel like, are what got us involved in. It's like a movie. As good as this movie is, this movie does not work without Samuel L. Jackson. This movie does not work without Bruce Willis. This movie is not a movie that's good just because it's got a collection of really good actors. No, we need a star. And we need a star to build around this movie. And then you find out about
stars exist, but you only promote 4 teams. There's stars out there. There's stars, and that's what I'm not saying. Like I keep saying, I'm not saying just start promoting Cade like he's LeBron. I'm saying if you promote the league, you promote the Orlando Magic when Paolo and Franz are there, and you promote the Cavs and you promote Boston. I'm not saying you give them all the same amount of nationally televised games, but I'm saying they all deserve nationally televised. There's no OKC had like less nationally televised
I think
games.
you
than the
told me
Lakers.
that, Mars. I think
I want to believe
All
that
of
Art
those,
House.
like that's ridiculous. And
I think you
the
told me,
more
Mars,
you
really
and the more
quickly.
you start promoting these teams, the more people are gonna find what they're attracted to, and you can see what are more people. Obviously, they're gonna watch the Lakers. We understand that, but what are people watching? And then you see,
What
okay,
do you
they're
think
watching
League
OKC.
Pass
Okay,
is, Mars?
so then we got OKC, and League Pass is trash.
It is, yo.
League Pass
It
is
is-
trash.
If
It
I
is.
wanted to watch an Indiana Pacers versus Memphis Vancouver Grizzlies game like 25 years ago, good luck. It is not trash. It is doing exactly what you want it to do, which is it's giving access to other people. Like the problem is, Mars, and I'm not trying to be rude, is you didn't grow up through the 90s when it was hard to watch these games. It was hard to watch these games.
It was to watch. I brought
Okay,
that point up
so
many times,
everything
by the
that has been moved towards making things more accessible. Now, I understand there's taking a little bit of a step back right now, making things a little bit harder to access. But trust me, man, it's not for a lack of promotion, man. The NBA pushed Cade hard in his rookie season. He didn't play well. The NBA pushed Wemby hard. They didn't play well. Okay, the NBA pushed Zion like crazy. They pushed Zion. They pushed Zion like crazy. There was a future face of the league, his future LeBron, and fans checked in. And then Zion turned out to be a lemon. The NBA pushed Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. What's going on? So the NBA decided to do what you're doing. They're like, okay, let's hedge the strategy and let's just promote everybody. Let's promote all the small markets. Let's promote Paolo today, LaMelo tomorrow, Tyrese Halliburton today, Jokic tomorrow, Giannis yesterday. And it's like, now I'm just disinterested. The truth is what Chilltown said, and I think this is one of those times where I'm sorry to say appeal to age a little bit here, appeal to experience. The Star does sell the film, but increasingly today, it's harder to sell a film with just one star. Now you got to sell it with more stars because now this film's got 5 stars and this film only got 1 star. Well, I'm going to go check out the film with the 5 stars. And as someone who's in film, who's in the film industry, I would love for it to be a little bit more democratic. I would love for it to be a little bit more spread out. Hey, give me some of those Avatar dollars, bro. Give me some of that, but that's not realistic. It's not going to happen because there's one film that's going to make $1 billion and the rest of us are going to be splitting 80 million. And that's the truth. That's just how it works. It's not about being an idealist, Mars. Like I understand ideally what you're saying is, stars should be promoted based on merit. They should be promoted across the league. We should care about all the teams. But the truth is you're not going to do that. The average fan is not going to do that. And I don't think it does us any good as, part of the media to be sitting here basically talking down to casuals because that's your largest demographic.
We do need
it does not help to do that. I like what Chill said, which is how do you get them hooked? How do you teach them more about the game that they're watching? How do you get them interested? And the truth is you get them interested with this is now. This Jordan thing, this is happening right now. You see Michael Jordan spin, you see Michael Jordan dunk on that guy. We got to watch that. I am watching more. I've watched the WNBA since 99, 2000. Okay. New York Liberty, LA Sparks. I watched all of Candace Parker. I was a huge fan of her brother, Anthony Parker. I'm watching more WNBA now than I ever have before. I'm watching more women's college hoops than I ever have before. What opened the door to my re-interest in it? Characters like Flau'jae Johnson, characters like Juju Watkins, Paige Beckers. These are the characters that have opened.
And the best player in America, Hannah Hidalgo.
Shout out to Tisha Pinachero up for Hall of Fame nomination.
And honestly, it was Paige. It was the Angel Reese, LSU squad that really got me hooked. I was rooting for LSU to whoop Caitlin Clark. I had a dog in the race. I wanted to see somebody get beat. Because it felt a little bit like, what the Lakers Celtics thing felt like. It felt a little bit us versus them kind of thing. You got white America coming down. So you were rooting for this girl. They're hating on LSU. They're hating on Angel Reese. I'm like, yo, pummel Caitlin Clark. I wanted them to beat her.
We got people in the chat that are really thinking like that people play basketball because of the NBA. Somebody just told me that college basketball exists because of the NBA. He's like, these people are so lost and confused. This is what's wrong with it. People are so influenced by these guys. This is just disgusting. I'm just disgusted because I don't care about the NBA. I care about basketball. You know what I mean? Like, and once again, I'm just coming from a different train of thought. Obviously, I just don't think it's that deep. Like, if you like basketball, you're gonna like certain things. If you're just here to have a good time, you know what I'm saying, then you can watch anything, I guess. I don't know. It's just weird. It's getting a little weird, y'all.
All right, fellas. We got a ton of super chats, so we're gonna try to get through these as soon as we can. Swiper, I do want to talk about some of the games from last night, but these super chats trump those. So you stay down there in that corner. Keep quiet. I'm gonna read these super chats, and we're gonna have a good time, y'all. Like the video if you haven't. Also, too, this show is brought to you by PrizePicks, where you can run your game, control your game, and win your game. When you play just $5, you can get 50 back instantly in promo funds when you use the code PANEL. We'll see you on PrizePicks soon. All right, y'all. Shout out to our Hall of Famers. We got Kendall Daniels, K.T. He's been in the chat all episode. For some reason, he keeps putting tomato emojis. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with the dude. But shout out K.T.
Trash.
Hunt Gilgores, Multi-Kenny, and Cobra Son of Raditz. Oh, that's for me?
Garbage.
I will throw more.
In the words of my man Ox, weak as hell.
J-Rock sent through the super chat. J-Rock said, Ron, it's pronounced J-Rock. Also, I understand Mars's opinion, but the American motto cares about money, eyes, and power. Mars is coming from a European mindset about forwarding the game, not the players.
The American model is stupid.
What are you saying, Mars?
It's dumb.
It's just dumb.
It's a stupid model.
Capitalism, Ron. Capitalism. Praising the almighty dollar. That's the problem. The fact that we got to keep dealing with this bullshit because the $100 million that this person's making this year isn't enough money. They have to make 120 next year. Is ruining the product, and it's terrible. That's the problem.
MP13 said, I think you guys are conflating stars and expression of basketball skill. I think Mars is saying if you incrementally show people that there are more expression of skill out there, then they can grow attached to those players.
Incrementally. I like that word.
I don't think basketball skill makes stars.
Chill, you better stop.
I think it's part of it. But I think it's charisma. I think it's charisma, personality. I think if a person has the charisma of wallpaper, you know, it's not going to help. It doesn't matter how good you are at basketball.
What kind of wallpaper, though? Like, are we talking about 70s wallpaper or modern
horse wallpaper from Serbia? How about that?
Oh, minimalist, yeah. No thanks.
Yeah.
Shout out Serbia and shout out wallpaper. Realist123 said, I told Chill that LeBron was not washed and he just got more rest or just needs more rest. You see the results. You see the defense. Wow. Championship loading.
Here we go.
Championship not loading.
Now,
when the Lakers need to win a chip, man, that's the Lakers. So marquee
don't forget. Now, when we get in the middle of January, or we get right before the All-Star break, and he has another one of these, he suck again. So, all right, we'll see. We'll see about that.
L. Mars said, was Hal Grill the best scorer on the 1967 76ers over Wilt? He led the team in points in the playoffs, but Wilt was more efficient. Also, in the finals, both averaged 28, but Wilt was still more efficient.
I wouldn't say so.
Shout out Hal Grill.
Shout out to Hal Grill.
Gandhi KV2 said, Kevin McHale, dude was a stud. Holy shit. What's his numbers in today?
Cooking today.
He playing like 5 minutes ago.
Cooking today.
We went
is he cooking in those 5 minutes, Mars?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he gonna have them Luka Garza 5 minutes. That's what he gonna have.
Oh shit,
Mars, it's crazy that you say that because that's exactly the guy I was thinking about.
Oh Lord,
that is exactly the guy I was thinking about for real. Like he might be in a bad situation and he might be rotting on somebody's bench.
Kevin McHale.
So
you know
Luka Garza, Drew.
You know what the analytics say, man. We're not going to post players, man. We're not going to post players.
Everything the Shangoon is Kevin McHale is, and some. If Şengün
Kevin
can
McHale
survive,
better
Kevin
than
McHale.
Şengün.
Okay,
Why,
that's my
why would
point
you? Why
exactly.
would you even bring that? Why would you even bring
My
that
point
boy
exactly.
name up with Kevin McHale?
Because he 100% is better than Sengun. 100% he is.
Yeah, he's still playing 8 minutes in today's game. So.
Respect Steph said, think it will be a fire episode if you guys can create your starting five currently in the league with only one superstar and let the chat vote who would win. You know what, Respect Steph?
I'm not doing that shit.
Because of you, Respect Steph, we're going to do a draft every day this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Hey, it's the giving season, right? It's the gift that keeps giving. So guess what? The best host on planet Earth. And
Y'all
on
not
Mars.
even gonna
It's going to
beat
give you
y'all.
guys a draft every day this week. So get ready for it.
Y'all
You'd
gonna
have
be
to define
ducking.
what
Y'all
superstars
gonna,
was.
y'all gonna be ducking Wednesday show like y'all do every holiday.
Facts. Not committed to the grind.
Y'all going to be here?
Yes.
I'll be here. I'll be here.
I mean,
Mhm.
tomorrow's not promised, but we'll see.
Facts. Ask Joe Mazzulla.
Divine said, it's the first time I've joined the live in 5 months, and I'm super late, but I had to say this. Cade has been killing this year. 24, 10, and 7, 34% on pull-up threes.
39%.
Pins, 39% on pull-up threes. Penn said all-star by default, but it's earned.
I agree. It is earned.
Maybe if more people were watching.
Now
the
that's
Pistons,
the
they'd
biggest
agree.
shift in PC is Penn. I think shifting on Cade, rightfully so, but it's a big deal.
He's still low on Cade. He's just becoming undeniable at this point. But if more people were paying attention to the Pistons, yeah, he'd for sure be an all-star. But can't watch the Pistons, man. They're not allowed. Not marquee enough.
EJ said Mars' opinion stems from a non-American point of view. Americans praise the individual, even in the 70s. Different teams won rings, but Kareem was the guy.
Kareem was not the guy. Kareem was like hated.
Still
They
the
couldn't
guy.
stand Jabbar. No. They couldn't stand Jabbar.
But
He was the best
that
player, but
strong opinion matters. Like the worst thing that you could say about a player is I don't care. I hate him is a good response. I love him is a good response. As a resident person who is consistently the subject of negative comments in the chat, believe me, I understand the concept of playing a villain. So I'm just saying, like, you just don't want blasé. You don't want I don't care, right? So what are the strong opinions that people hold about Anthony Edwards? I think people hold some very strong opinions about Anthony Edwards. I don't think people hold as strong opinions about LaMelo Ball, Paolo Banchero, Cade Cunningham, Franz Wagner, Scotty Barnes. I don't think people have strong opinions about these guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the point. When I have strong opinions about, if I'm a Knicks fan, I have a strong opinion right now about Trae Young, right? Everyone has a strong opinion about LeBron James. That's what you need to allow to percolate. You need to allow strong opinions about players. Everyone has strong opinions about Angel Reese. Any post about Angel Reese goes viral. Why? People hate her. Some people love her. That's important. You got to have that engagement.
Yeah. I think that's why John Kerry did not win president in 2004. He was just mid for everybody. Had no aura in the election whatsoever.
But if it's Swiper, I know that you're focused on the entertainment industry. That's how they decided to restructure the voting for the Oscars. They try to give the award to the least objectionable film. But it's polarizing and strong opinions. I hated this. I loved this. That makes something memorable. The greatest films of all time, some of them were hated when they first came out. A lot of them were hated when they first came out. 2001: A Space Odyssey was universally hated when it first came out. It survives the test of time 50 years later.
So was Little Giants. Little Giants wasn't really, but that's a classic. It's a classic. I love that movie.
Yeah,
great movie.
Mars, you ever seen Little Giants? Oh man. What about Little Rascals?
Don't really watch movies or stuff.
But you've seen Little Rascals.
You don't
right?
you don't feel like Little Giants had motion when we were young?
No, because what they said when it first came out, like in theaters and stuff like that. I just was watching this video on it. They were talking about how difficult it was to make, how it came from, and then like how it really. So basically, Swipe it really hit like with us. You know what I'm saying? Like
1994.
Yeah, see, it dropped in 94, but it really didn't hit to like 97, 98, 99.
That was a good
when it was
movie.
on video.
What was the
VHS.
play?
We was
What was the
watching
play?
it in the after school program and stuff like that. The
was the play
annexation
called?
of Puerto Rico.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, everybody knew that. Everybody knew
that
that.
annexation of Puerto Rico. But yeah, Mars.
Yeah,
You gotta watch Little Rascals and Little Giants, bro.
And you gotta watch Attack on Titan.
I'm not a movie person.
Attack
You
on Titan.
You don't watch no westerns? You don't watch Tombstone, A Fistful of Dollars?
No.
Mars, you ain't never watched Rio Bravo? El Dorado?
El Dorado.
Tell me you watched El Dorado.
I thought he was making up stuff. No, I've never watched
Gotta go.
Oh, by the way, Moana 2 was cold, by the way.
Moana 2 is fire.
It was a very good movie.
Check it out.
We about to go watch that.
Hey, Moana one of them ones.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just leave it at that. In the
that's
Disney
a fact. No,
Pantheon,
that's
in
a
the
fact.
Disney Pantheon.
Yeah.
Hey, Moana on her. Moana kind of on her Luca, for real.
No, Moana, she's not
Lion King
Luka.
clears.
She closed the deal every time. She's a two for two champion.
Lion
Year
King.
1 and year 2.
Not this live action bullshit.
Moana magic.
The Lion King.
Johnson?
Yeah, for sure. She literally magic. Like she literally is magic.
Big Mac 2K said, "Can you ask Mars to show his charging outlet?"
That's a fact. Which ones do you have?
I don't have any near me. Well, you got the European ones is 2-pronged. In most European countries, UK ones are 3-pronged. I think they might be the only country I know that has.
Y'all want to see Mars's charging
They got
outlets?
the two that are slanted and then the one straight up like that, like two like this. And
I mean, no, it's two at the base that are just straight, and then it's one on top. That's just
right.
Yeah.
All right, MP13 said, "I'm starting to understand Ox because I really couldn't care less about storylines. I want to see the purest expression of basketball talent possible."
It's really just that simple.
We're a minority that is important, which is fine.
But you rather make it hard.
But the important thing here is to package the Easter egg,
like
right? You know Jurassic Park? Like when you think about Jurassic Park, what was it marketed as and what was it? You know what I mean? Like Jurassic Park was marketed as a major blockbuster film, which appealed to all the kids, got everyone interested in dinosaurs. It appealed to as many people as possible. But at the core, it was a deeply philosophical film about man versus science, which appealed to the hardcore nerds in the genre, right? You can do both. You don't have to pick a side here. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We
gotta get off the fence, Pen. We gotta go.
No.
You gotta shit or get off the pot. We over here.
Enjoying like promoting the league, promoting Michael Jordan doesn't stop you from enjoying Reggie Miller. It doesn't. It
enhances you to enjoying Reggie Miller. That's how you found out about Reggie.
No one said don't promote MJ. The fact of the matter is we don't have an MJ. So the idea of still trying to promote people like they are MJ is the problem I have. Instead of just promoting all these teams until someone rises to the top. Instead of doing that. I mean, right now, for me, if you wanted to go down that avenue, I would start promoting Giannis, Jokic, and Luka. But they don't want to do that because they need an American. So I'm saying instead of just holding on to LeBron and Steph and just giving them 40 nationally televised games every year, despite the fact that the teams suck, how about we just promote the team?
What is the league doing when they award someone an MVP 3 times? They're not promoting Jokic?
No, that's the voters on the league. And
well, the voters are part of the league.
Winning an MVP doesn't mean that you're being promoted by the NBA. That's not what that
winning
means.
an MVP means you're being promoted by the people who promote the NBA.
No, it means
the NBA writers are the storytellers. They are the people. The major writers are the people telling
writing stories about Jokic. They're just giving.
So what's more important, Mars? Everything that ESPN, Fox, Players' Choice, and all the outlets, Bleacher Report, all those things combined, or what Adam Silver thinks? Doesn't matter what Adam Silver thinks. It's everything around the NBA, the ecosystem around the NBA.
Jokic.
And those people are
Jokic disparagingly.
Some of them do. Some of them talk about Jokic and Giannis disparagingly. Some of them promote him like he's God. Okay, so I'm saying like it's okay to have a healthy thing. And you know what's come out of this Jokic stuff? A lot of interest. People tune in to watch this guy play shit defense now. They really do. They're interested to watch.
It's a very fun time too. I enjoyed the Pelicans game.
Sure. But you're adding what I said, gravitas. You're adding gravity to him now because he's being talked about. He's being talked about in all-time conversations. You're putting him up next to Shaq. You're saying, is he better than Shaq? Is he better than Kareem? Is he better than these guys? Now people who are like, let me see this bum and how he compares to my memory of what I remember these guys being. That adds interest. It's a good thing. Having a rivalry between Jokic and Embiid was a good thing. If they could both be healthy in the same game, that would have helped. You know what I mean? This is how you create interest. You know, I used to work at a hedge fund. One of the oldest tricks in the books, tell someone you found the next Apple. Tell someone you found the next Microsoft. Tell someone, yo, these guys in the basement, they're cooking up the next Amazon. Good luck. That stock's going to go up.
Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah, pretty much that. Right? So that whole pump and dump element, right? But that's one of the oldest tricks in the books on how to sell something. This is the next thing. They tried it with Harold Miner, Michael Jordan, Penny Hardaway, Grant Hill. This is the next Jordan. This is the next Jordan. You got to pay. But people sniffed it out. They watched it like, shut up. That ain't Jordan. That's not Jordan. He doesn't move like Jordan.
So now they promote negativity, and that goes back to the point I made at the start of the show.
Well, they made a mistake with the Harold Miner.
The idea of promoting negativity is what I have the biggest problem with. The finals happens. Luka's a 25-year-old who makes it to the finals. And the whole storyline about Luka in the finals is that he doesn't play winning basketball. He doesn't play defense. All he does is whine all game. This is not a good brand of basketball. That was the whole narrative. When it comes to Jokic, it's about the defense. When it comes to Giannis, it was about the fact that he couldn't shoot. And they still trying to get Giannis out of Milwaukee every chance they have. Like all of it is just trying to promote negativity. And when your promotion of the NBA product is solely based on how it doesn't compare to the product you've had previously, that's a bad model, in my opinion. If you're going to promote these guys, Jokic, Giannis, Luka, promote the positivity. Promote that these are some of the best playmakers.
I'm sorry. Pen.
That doesn't make it right.
We can move on from this.
But
Mars is 100% right. I'm not going to argue this. Anymore. Mars is 100% right. If I'm steady talking about this chick that I'm dating, you don't really match up to the chick that I used to mess with. How am I going to ever move on with the new chick? How? All I keep talking about is, your ass ain't as fat as hers. You don't really, your conversation is whack. You don't really look as good as my other chick. I'm always.
You could have stopped after the first one.
I'm
people hated on Kareem.
You know what's going to happen?
I'm
going to never move on. I'm never going to move on. And by the way, Penn, the chick that you are seeing, she dope. But you keep stuck on this other chick. You steady stuck on her.
It feels to me you're just having an emotional crisis.
But if the asses ain't the same, though, chill. This ain't the same.
This just sounds like you versus Julius Randle right now. Like that's all this sounds like to me. Okay. What I'm trying to tell you is all the stars were maligned and slandered. Kobe was airballing threes in the playoffs during his first few seasons. He was too selfish. He won't pass the ball to Shaq. Kareem, get his ass off the block.
First of all, Shaq was the star. Kobe was the high school kid that we didn't know about. He turned into a star, and they realized that they had to market him later.
He was selfish. In 2002,
but they weren't marketing him like that.
2005.
That's what that was.
I love the nice ribbon that we have tied around Kobe and Iverson's and Michael's careers, but the careers didn't look like that when you were there. When you were sitting there, Michael Jordan was a scoring champion who won't pass the ball to anybody. Hakeem Olajuwon was a selfish-ass basketball player who made his teammates worse every night until he won championships, and then they rewrote the whole goddamn book. What I'm trying to tell you, Mars, and I'm trying to tell everybody in the world, is that how the NBA is covered and how the stories are presented, that beautiful arc of Kobe, the farewell tour, the riding off into the sunset, unfortunate, passing, his massive impact on, Mamba mentality and inspirational quotes and stuff today. This is the nice little bow. But don't act like people weren't calling him all sorts of names in 2005 and 2004, saying he ran Shaq out of town and all that stuff. Don't act like, we agree that Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time. Most of us do, at least. But man, he was not very well respected in 88, 89. Who is this punk kid thinking he's going to take the torch from Magic? Where have we been having the same goddamn discussion? The same thing we're talking about Jokic right now is the same thing we're talking about some other player, 15, 20 years ago. Steph Curry's too injury prone. Yeah, it's a nice little bow now, but it wasn't then, okay? So KD's a snake. Yeah, when he retires, it won't be that way anymore. You know what I mean?
Not if I got something to say about it.
I mean, I agree. They've been promoting negativity 50 years. I agree. I just think it's been stupid the whole time.
All
It's
right,
a part of
let's y'all just agreed. Let's move
Let's
on
do
from
it.
there.
Let's
I
do
got
it,
I got
Ron.
a ton of super chats, so let's get into them. Y'all, let's not be long-winded. Comment
Okay.
on it if you need to. Be
Got it.
quick. We're gonna move on to the next one. The Trib One said the casuals are the ones coming and going. Real ball fans are here and will be here. If you are the business, you want the casuals.
Facts.
That's why I think profit over everything is stupid.
Mavs, Luka, Clay, Kyrie said NBA tried to be the NFL's parody, led to lesser viewership. Unfortunately, the league strives in dynasties. Small market Golden State Warriors become a big market in 10 years.
So it's CJ McCollum's fault.
I don't know if they were ever a small market.
No, they weren't.
EJ said casual here, but the NBA should allow hand checking on ball handlers in the triple threat and make rip throughs an offensive foul. Chilltown, what you think?
Rip through's an offensive foul.
No, I'm not buying the rip through.
What?
How you meant to play out a triple threat?
No, I don't think rip through is an offensive foul, but I would like to be able to put hands on guys a little bit more. Yes, I would like
Right.
to be able to do that.
But if somebody, you should be able to put your hands on somebody. But if
Yeah,
somebody
I
puts
would
their
like
hands
to
on
do
you,
that.
rip through, and you're supposed to
The rip through bottom line.
not literally, y'all, but you're supposed to break a wrist, break a finger, back up.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Not literally, we're not
I
trying
would
to hurt
like to be
nobody,
able to do
but
that.
you know what I'm saying?
The Trib One said, I think it would be better to do a broad thing so everyone can find one thing to latch onto instead of relying on just superstars.
I'm saying promote the league to find the superstar. That's what
Mhm.
I'm trying to say. Instead of
Well,
holding on to
I
the
feel like they
40-year-old.
do, personally.
It's the other way
Superstars
around.
don't
No, they have the ones they've chosen. Like they chose Zion and thought he was going to be the one. It didn't work out. Wemby, of course, and then they like.
So
pulled it
Mars
back.
is on the other.
But
Mars is
they
on the
have
other side.
they tried to promote the young guys who they think have a shot, and I'm
Mhm.
saying right now where we're in an era of we don't know who the next big superstar is. Promote the NBA and let the fans find the superstar.
As opposed to
EJ,
what's going on
But
now.
I just
As
think,
opposed
and I
to
think
what's going on
tomorrow's
now.
to your point, and I've been mostly quiet on this just because I think I've talked about this on multiple times. The NBA at the media level is very uneducated relative to other sports, and so not local media is not. I want to very
Mainstream,
local media is very educated, but I'm talking about mass media. It's all narratives. That's because that's what the engine is. So I agree in many forms, but
Yeah.
you know this is a long-standing issue.
All right, I just ran a poll and I asked you guys, are you enjoying the NBA this year? Yes or no? You guys let me know. Also, like the video while you're at it and subscribe to Player's Choice. And once again, this show is brought to you by PrizePicks. Julius Irvin shot through a super chat. He said draft was rigged a few times. A couple times to help Bron get Kevin Love and AD. Everyone predicted Spurs would get Wemby.
Doesn't mean it's rigged.
Mm.
Just because you predicted it doesn't mean it's rigged.
Adam West said, nah. Ron had to give Penn a handicap.
I don't even know what you said
Laughing
now.
emojis, thumbs down, trash, Penn, or Crayola. Crayon. Hove became a member today. Shout out to Hove. Jalen has been a member. He said Pistons fans matter. L Penn, Dubcade.
Dubcade indeed.
DSG Piccolo said the Wemby draft was rigged. No way these ninjas. Tell Portland we were a ping pong ball away. Adam Silver he.
Oh,
No way Wemby is going back up to. No way Wemby is going up to Portland and that dude break down. No way. They
I'm
wasn't
telling you,
trying to risk
the
that.
Blazers don't deserve number one picks.
They wasn't with that. The NBA was not willing to risk that. No.
Mitsu said tanking is hurting the NBA as teams lose intentionally for draft picks, reducing competition, frustrating fans, and damaging the league's reputation.
See, that's the
W
thing.
Raptors,
I've
W
watched-
Pelicans last night.
I've watched almost every Giants game this year, and they suck.
They do it in football all the time.
Yeah,
Swiper.
I've
So
watched.
I'm
who
tired of
else
hearing
sucks?
that shit.
I've watched
I'm sick of that
Oakland.
shit.
Brock Bowers has been must-see TV. Like,
Get the hell
They're-
out of here with that.
that's what I'm
Shout out
saying,
Brock
man. Like,
Bowers.
it's so tough. Maybe in the NFL because it's only 17 games. Maybe that's it. But I've watched like every Giants game because Malik Neighbors is there, Tyrone Tracy Jr. is there. But yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely get.
In fact, they're promoting it. They're promoting it so Sanders' kid could end up in either Vegas or with the Giants. They promoting that. Like, which one is he going to go to?
Mm-hmm.
Also, prayers up to Tank Dale. Praying
that
for a
was
speedy
crazy.
recovery.
Man.
Man.
Did y'all see that?
Yeah, I did.
That was crazy. He caught the ball on the touchdown, and his teammate, like, because of momentum, he fell into his left leg while catching the touchdown. And it was like, I've never seen an injury that specific.
Football
like that.
is
Random.
Football is ridiculous. It truly is a gladiator sport, and you're basically playing to get injured. As much as I hate to say it, it's like it's almost
you have
inevitable.
100% chance to get hurt playing football. You don't have an 80 or 90% chance. You're gonna get hurt.
Speaking of getting hurt, though, real quick, I just want to go back for a second to that super chat. The basketball fans in Portland, Oregon, absolutely deserve great basketball. Now, I'm not saying rigged drafts. I don't know about all that, whatever. I don't want to get into that, but that they got unlucky. Greg Oden got unlucky. Bill Walton got unlucky with some guys. You know what I'm saying?
Brandon Roy.
But the B. Roy, thanks, Penn. Definitely B. Roy.
Got unlucky with Kevin Durant too.
Well, got unlucky with Greg. They got unlucky with Greg Oden. But what I'm saying is, because I don't want to get too deep into this, what I want to say is just the basketball fans. I'm not talking about the franchise, the Trailblazers franchise,
Scoot as well.
All those guys. I'm talking about the basketball fans of Portland, Oregon. Absolutely love hoop. They absolutely support their team, and they want to watch good basketball. They absolutely deserve a good basketball team up here. Shout out to the fans.
Sam Bowie wasn't even a terrible pick, to be fair, y'all. He was a really good player. He really was.
Injuries, D-Rock. But they have Scoot Henderson, so they got good hoops. He averaged 14 as a rookie, so hey.
Ox,
and they got it right with Shaden.
And these fans are still holding it down too.
Ox is right. They deserve better up in Portland. That's a great basketball city up there.
And they are still holding it down. Very excited about
if the Denver Nuggets can draft Nicholas Tidishvili over a bunch of real players. Tidishvili. Yeah, I honestly, that's how I don't care. I'm respecting him, but like it was such a bad.
They told Amari Stoudemire, we good. We're gonna go with this.
Yeah, then he deserved. How do you say it again? Show?
Skidisvili.
Okay, yeah.
Skidisvili.
Exactly. Who?
Mari, we straight on you, brother. We're gonna go with you.
All I'm saying is we got to remember the fans aren't the ones making these draft picks, y'all.
Yeah.
And they definitely support their team.
Portland, a nice city too. A nice state. Got
great
nice cities in it.
I'm sorry, Ron. I apologize.
It's all right. I mean,
no, they got some nice stuff. They got some.
It used to be a lot better. It's coming back. It's coming back.
Well, they got nice things in Portland. They definitely got nice establishments. But
hey, Ron, it was a long night last night, brother.
You know what else? They got nice things in Seattle.
Facts.
Seattle's a very nice city.
Flexed Up said, also, we are living in a hangover of KD Warriors.
I mean, people hated that at the time, and now everyone's saying, take me back to...
Man, they fake hated that.
We're also living in the early stages of the Boston Celtics, the early stages of the Oklahoma City Thunder, the early stages of
the Houston Rockets.
The New York Knicks just got
people
back
are just
on the
never
map.
happy, man. That's all it is. People are just never happy. We need nostalgia to take over. 15 years from now, nostalgia will be here for this era. Like, oh my god, man, we took Jokic for granted. Oh man, and then everyone, and then we'll be here like, I remember how people were talking about this era of how the game was cooked. So,
all right, y'all. More glaze, courtesy of a super chat. Javi said, Swiper got the best takes. No glaze. Every take. But his Tatum takes.
You know what's funny, and I want to clear. I'm going to say this again for the 12th time. And I said that Tatum was better than KD in 22 because he deserved it. And I think the backlash has been that like I have not been with the public in terms of where he has moved. But Tatum has also been top 5 this year. So I'm behind last year. I don't think he was top 5 last year. I think he was better than KD. I had him at 7 in 2022, and now he's at top 5 again. But also, again, y'all. Again, we didn't even talk about this. Another media member in Boston said that he's the LeBron of his era. So if I push back on that again, I'm a Tatum hater. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I can't live.
That wouldn't make you a hater. That wouldn't make you a hater.
But I'm saying I can't live. There's no middle line with Celtics.
LeBron lost his first 2 finals.
Okay, move next super chat.
Flexed Up said Malice in the Palace started this neutering process. The league got scared and went too professional.
Agreed.
As they should have. You want a riot?
What?
It's a professional league.
Did y'all see the Malice in the Palace?
We had a riot. You understand that?
I want to remind y'all like what happened. Like me and my mom were watching that live. Like that was crazy.
I was
watching
a riot. I couldn't believe it.
Bro, it was in what do y'all? We don't want nothing like that. That's
No, we
bad for the
don't.
league, bro.
Yo, what is
right.
the chances that game is on national television? Like, what's the chances?
It was a great game. And matter of fact, that the Pacers could have
Oh,
went to the finals that year. I think
Facts.
they were.
I had them winning the NBA championship that year.
Yeah, they could have went to the finals
Probably
that year.
so.
That ruined their season. Ruined
This
it.
is
I
this
had
is
to
the
win it
problem
there.
with
Reg,
this.
you know what I'm saying?
With what
Reggie,
you're
that
saying,
was
he's not
terrible.
suggesting that you should advocate for Malice in the Palace. He's saying that in an attempt to prevent the next Malice in the Palace, you've taken anything out of the game that could potentially lead to that.
And
Right?
Pin, I think you're misunderstanding where I'm going. Good.
All right, so we gotta keep it pushing.
So a little bit of shoving here and there, and then boom, both players get tossed out because it might lead to Malice in the Palace.
You know, a little bit of nudging instead people aren't getting kicked out. The refs go a little too far with certain things, but things that can turn into something like that absolutely need to be shut down right there on the spot. We don't need big 6'8", 6'9" NBA players running, beating up civilians.
Well, no, civilians started it. Civilians, you stay out of the fight.
I didn't say you
stay out of
started
the
it.
fight.
I didn't say you started it, Swiper. I'm saying
I agree.
that we don't.
America.
Did you
Alright,
see what
chill.
Jermaine on this?
Yeah, I'm
if
about to
Jermaine
leave too.
I'll see
But
that
look,
ball.
but hey, when Steven Jackson
I'm about
punched
to
that
leave
man in
too.
the
I'm about to
face, he
leave
was
too. I'm
stealing
about to
off
leave
on
too.
people. That
Yo,
he was,
but Swiper, if Jermaine O'Neal wouldn't have slipped, he would have killed that dude.
yeah, but I'm
Like,
saying
on
he
the
was
floor,
the
he's like a
civilian
bunch
was
of-
taking off on players. I mean, again, Steven Jackson should have did it. He should have.
gotta get to these super chats.
All right.
Ray Starr said, all right, Swiper. Ray Starr said Chris Finch surrounds AE, Anthony Edwards, with 3.5 non-shooters in the starting lineup. How can he win? Conley is old as dirt, won't play the young guys. We suck bad.
As my very knowledgeable co-panelist would say, figure it out. Stop crying. Figure it out. Shout out to Jordan.
Power 501.105 said, can we get the top 10 players with no accolades?
I'd have to see a list of players with no accolades.
Caron Butler's number one.
Caron ain't make anything.
I don't know.
Let's see if Caron Butler got any
No
accolades.
accolades? Well, why y'all digging
Two-time
that up?
All-Star. I knew Caron was an All-Star. Yeah, Caron was a two-time All-Star.
I mean, but does that?
That's what I'm saying. No accolades gonna be
We're talking about like absolutely nothing. Like,
nothing. No championships, no All-Stars, no All-NBA teams, no all defensive teams.
Lamar
nothing.
Odom went to the All-Star game, didn't he?
No, Lamar ain't go to the All-Star game, but
No.
I don't know if all rookie
Well,
teams is a bit too far. All rookie might be a bit too much to say that counts as an accolade. I don't know, but there's a lot of All-Stars. I mean, a lot of All-Stars, like singular time All-Stars.
Darren Fost said, the guy that makes the most sense for the face of the league right now is Jason Tatum. Even if people hate him, you
Hell
can
no.
play off that.
Hell no.
All right.
What they
Ben
gonna
says
say
hell no.
now? What they gonna say now?
What are they gonna say?
Marcus FRM 626 said, we would have a damn face if Cat was still in Minnesota to help him. Come back, Cat. I don't know why Chill likes this lazy nigga Julius. A lazy nigga.
Well, he sounds like Uncle Ruckus. What the hell?
You're lazy.
Shout out lazy niggas, man. You gotta shout them out. Superman Real said Chamberlain versus Russell, Magic versus Bird, MJ versus Isaiah, MJ versus everyone, Kobe versus Shaq, Bron versus Kobe, Bron versus KD, Bron versus Curry. They don't promote Giannis versus Jokic.
Maybe it's not as exciting.
I'm excited to see it. But Capo sent through a members chat. He said, to be fair, Swiper, the NFL does have a villain. The Cowboys, who are discussed similar to the Lakers in the media.
The Cowboys are the villain?
I can see that. They're hated.
Oh no.
DSG Piccolo said Dylan Harper gonna be box office in PDX when he's the lead guard throwing lobs to Shaden Sharp or to Monty and Flag locking up.
Lead guard. You have Scoot Henderson, sir. You have a lead guard. Scoot Henderson. Yeah.
Brian Cook said, hey Mars, may I ask why you take Kobe over LeBron when it comes to 3-point shooting? I am very curious to know why.
I think that was like prime LeBron versus prime Kobe as a 3-point shooter. The reason I took Kobe in that regard is because teams guarded Kobe as if he was a threat from out there. So the shot quality was different. I think getting teams go under ball screens or teams conceding outside shots, like the percentages might be higher, and that's fine. But when it comes to like the actual ability to shoot the basket, and I think what I said is Kobe's a better shooter, like overall, not 3-point shooter specifically. I'm fine conceding 3-point shooting, but when it comes to overall shooting, I think Kobe is the better shooter because when it comes down to shot quality and how teams treat you as an outside shooter, I think it's night and day between the two of them. And also, I think free throw shooting is a great indicator of shooting ability, and Kobe is substantially better from the free throw line as well. But overall, just 3-point shooting, I would have the conversation about LeBron because what LeBron's turned into as a 3-point shooter is very impressive, especially later on in his career. But overall shooting ability, which I think goes way beyond 3-point shooting, I think is Kobe, and I probably wouldn't think twice. Still.
Drink More Water said, I think the NBA's main issue is that it has marketed its entertainment value off drama and narratives versus the entertainment of the game itself.
I agree, but yeah.
So that's all I was trying to say earlier. I should have worded it better.
Zanny Zo Boom a Fool. Boom a Fool said, put Pin and Swiper's socials in the description, Ron. El host. My bad, Pin. No disrespect.
You're just the L host.
Exactly. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. Swiper, I don't care so much, but Pin, I would love for you to forgive me.
It's all good.
Thank you.
Pin, I honestly do like you a lot more than Swiper.
That's very random, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Realist123 said the main reason viewership is low is because social media highlights are easily accessible. Why watch 2 hours? They need a Netflix deal like WWE.
Well, you just don't like basketball.
That's the thing. Most casuals don't, and that's the like we're appealing to people who don't like the sport that we're trying to change the sport for. We're trying to change the sport for the people who don't care about the sport, and it's like it bothers me. Like I understand business, money, financials. I understand it. It annoys me that we're trying to change the game for people who don't care about the game. Like it's weird.
I know it sounds weird, but just lean into authenticity, man. Just lean into that raw emotion. Like I'm not saying get into it with fans and start throwing balls into the crowd and shit, but just be real. Like I wish that players were a little bit more free to be themselves. Say what they really think about things, but everything is trying to preserve the next $1 billion TV deal. So everyone want to be vanilla and everyone want to be the same person. And when everyone's the same person, it's all very boring, right? Kawhi is interesting because he's so different. He doesn't move like everybody else. He doesn't think like everybody else. Jokic is different. Everyone is different.
Giannis,
That's the cool
plays
thing.
into his corny jokes, and
Giannis damn near broke the internet with that amazing post game response when his team got bounced in the playoffs. He's like, Eric, he's like every year you lose. It's not that's great. That was an expression of his internal thoughts. When Giannis, the thing that I remember most about Giannis, the thing I respect most about him, it was that thing where he was practicing his free throws after the game. And someone tried to, like one of those people were getting snippy with him. It was in the away arena, and they were trying to take down the net or something like that, or some shit like that.
That was before the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was after. I think it was after he was practicing his free throws, and they started like putting up like a ladder in front of him and some shit, and he got really mad about it. And I was like, yo, that's authentic. That's an expression. When Nikola Jokic went after Markieff Morris, was it Marcus Morris? Markieff Morris, when he got checked like that. Like that to me was like that's really how he felt, and it's like I need more of that in the NBA. That's what I need more of. I'm not saying more fights, more dirty elbows. I just need more expression of authentic self.
Basically, what Penn is saying is, be you, nigga. Sam Gibson became a YouTube member. Realist123. Realist123 has been a member for 13 months. He said, Penn, ... Scotty Barnes, 6 points, ? 3 for 15.
How many threes did he shoot?
He took, I think, 10 threes or 8 threes.
Yeah, how many did he make?
0.
Damn.
Yeah, he went 0.
He doesn't look.
He's injured. He's injured. He's injured. He came back because RJ was sick and Jakob was out, And now we got the entire fan base over in Toronto saying, like, is this guy a max player? He's terrible. Yo, I've never seen a fan base treat their own player as badly as the Raptors fan base.
But are you
treats
guys
Scottie
not
Barnes.
tanking?
Yes, we are.
Damn.
So then
Mars,
why did he come back? 'Cause
Mars, a
players were
fun
missing.
fact for you, a really great fun fact for you and many fans. The Basketball Reference has this beautiful thing called expected win-loss. You seen it?
Yeah,
Where
I think
it basically tabulates up the win shares of every single team and then it compares it to your actual wins.
Mhm.
Do you know the two most underperforming teams in the league are Sacramento and Toronto?
Damn.
Both teams are underperforming by 3 to 4 wins. And what that's saying is you're playing well enough to win these games, but you're somehow losing them. If you had to guess, what is the team you think is overperforming their expected win-loss the most? If you had to guess.
The
Do they
Lakers.
take into account like
Yes.
injuries and stuff?
It is the Lakers by 4 fucking wins. Every year they overperform because of the refs. Every year. Every year.
All right, y'all. Masinko said, "Happy holiday, fellas. Shout out to Luther Vandross."
Luther Head.
Shout out to Luther Head too, but shout out to Luther Vandross.
Never too
Read the
much,
member
never
chat.
too much, never too much.
Alan L became a YouTube member today. Shout out to Alan L. Welcome to the show. It's
Alan
good to
R.
have new people around here.
Are you just doing this on purpose now?
TGTV became a YouTube member. Shout out to TGTV. And Angels also became a YouTube member today. Shout out to Angels. Keeping
Go
it pushing.
Angels.
NFT Marie became a YouTube member. Shout out to all the NFTs out there and shout out to all the Maries out there. Ulysses Ventura became a YouTube member. Shout out to Ulysses. Mitsu sent through a members chat. He's been around for 6 months. He said the NBA is not about teams. It's about players.
Yeah, but there's players on the team. So if you put the teams on TV, people have more access to players and they can find what they like. You put you don't even have to put the Pistons against the Wizards. If I'll accept put the Pistons against the Lakers on TV, just so you have the Lakers still there. But like, get Cade on TV, get Paolo on TV. Even if you have to put them against the good teams to do it, just get them on TV more. Like, that's all I'm saying. And people will gravitate to what they like. It's the same thing Chill tried to say about Michael Jordan. You start with Michael Jordan, and then you watch teams play against the Bulls, and you're like, oh, I like this guy, and you start following them. Do that. I'll meet in the middle. Put the Lakers on TV against, I don't know, Atlanta. Like, something. Just try. Please promote the rest
We
of the
want to keep cooking the Knicks. Masinko said both sides are right, but basketball should trump the storylines. Drama should just be the sprinkles on top.
Sure.
Julius
I
Irvin. Go ahead.
was just gonna say they might want to let Vince McMahon come and be commissioner for a couple seasons.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Julius Irvin said, it's not just about promoting a star. The on-court product is bad with the three-point shooting. Every team plays the same, no rivalries, and too much LeBron coverage.
I disagree
Every
with
team
those
does not
first
play
2
the same.
points. Yeah, I disagree with those first 2 points. The LeBron coverage, I absolutely agree. And the rivalries, I can understand why people want to see more rivalries. I can understand that. So those two, I agree. The first part, no, I don't agree.
The Trib One said, it would be dope if there was a fan interest pick during the draft. Like, while a team picks, it shows who the fans of the team want. More immersion,
Well, you get that based on which picks get booed on draft night.
basically.
Kristaps Porzingis getting booed at the wow.
Yeah, shout out to KP.
DSG Piccolo said, get that no feel for the game ass bum. Scoot off my team, Mars. And Aiden and Grant too.
Should have read that when Chill was here. But
I'm
anyway,
running out of patience too.
Yeah, shout out to Scoot, man. It's just it's a tough one.
I'm rooting
But
for
shout out
the
to
guy.
Shaden Sharp. Shaden Sharp I like Shaden Sharp. Shaden Sharp FC for sure.
Benjamin Griffin said, y'all should watch the movie Soul. Pete Disney.
No,
That's a
watch-
good movie. Mars.
watch-
I
watch
think
above
you'll like
the
that,
rim.
Mars, I think you'll like that movie Soul, man. It's actually very touching.
I don't watch
Mars,
movies.
you would love the basketball movie Above the Rim. Y'all watched it?
You know a basketball movie you wouldn't like?
Of course,
Mars?
we watched it.
Space Jam 2.
That shit was weak.
Respect Steph said, honestly, tired of seeing those bums in LA on TV. That's why I said Space Jam 2.
I exclusively watch on League Pass, so like I don't even be paying attention to what games are on national TV, and I watch with the broadcast on mute because they just be saying nonsense in my ear anyway. So
Mars, I know you've seen like Mike.
Come on
Lil Bow Wow,
now.
Lil Bow Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I seen that.
we got the scoop. Okay.
Oh,
I seen that.
how did he know?
I knew I was gonna find one. I knew. Okay,
Yeah, I seen
cool.
that.
cool.
How did you know?
Or I just know who's in it and I just lied to keep it pushing. I don't-
Ray Star said, "Swiper, chill? ? Can JJ be a top 5 receiver all time?" Well, since they not here and I gotta
Reddick?
answer it. Yeah, JJ Redick.
Yeah, got to be talking about JJ Redick because the other
Nah,
one.
they talk about JJ Jettis. Yes.
Who's that?
Jettis. You Mars. Jettis.
I'm a
is
casual, man.
like-
I'm a casual. You got to appeal to the casuals, man. Promote him. Where's the storylines?
Jettis is like,
Oh man.
I don't know if the NBA has a young star.
Oh,
that's
Justin
comparable to Jettis.
Jefferson? Oh,
Yeah,
I've
I
heard of
don't. I
him.
don't know if the NBA has a
okay.
young star that's comparable to Jettis. That's all I'm gonna say.
Skeet.
I agreed with you.
John Cena said, "Can Cade and the Pistons get some love?" Kind of been talking
Hell
about it all
no,
show.
they beat my Suns. Hell no. That was a good win, though. That was a good win.
Malik Williams said, "Have y'all talked about those trash ass Kings yet?"
Nah, we don't
There's
talk
there's
about
nothing
those
to
bums.
talk about. There's nothing to talk about.
Them niggas are sorry. Get Keegan and De'Aaron off my team.
Keegan's struggling, man.
I mean, get Keegan and
Oh
De'Aaron.
man, Jason Tatum will come around. Jason Tatum Jr.
Man. Malik and DeMontis, we rocking with them. Everybody else, get the hell out of here.
The Trib One said, "I think improving the product will bring eyeballs."
Sure. If you
Mhm.
can think of realistic ideas that would actually improve the product.
Yo. Yep. Stepping on it.
Sock Hill Nsibanyani said,
Sibanyoni, I think.
Sibanyani said,
Sibanyoni, I think.
"Can I finally say Cade over Halliburton, or I gotta wait?"
Yeah, you can say
You
Cade
can
over him.
say.
You can
For
say
sure.
Cade over him.
Hey,
Shout out to Cade.
don't jump off the cliff too soon.
Nah, Cade is.
You know Cade is, but Halliburton still is.
Nah, but Cade is. Cade.
All I'm gonna say is the Kings would be in a more privileged position if they would have did what I told them to do when they should have did it.
No, that's dumb, Ron. You know what, Mars? Oh, you know what, Mars?
Pick the
I
wrong
was thinking about this last night. I'm embarrassed that I got to say this, but I'm going to say it because it's basketball over everything. Damn my pride. You know who we need? We need Mike D'Antoni. Yo, you know who we need?
There we go. Yeah.
You oughta
We
be
need
ashamed of
Mike
yourself.
D'Antoni.
You a sellout.
Yeah,
What?
he knows you need the offensive
You a
guru,
sellout.
man. He knows.
Over Mike Brown?
Look, I'm not saying get rid of Mike Brown. I know people are talking about fire Mike Brown. I'm not saying that. We need to keep speeding it up. We need Mike D'Antoni.
You need
I seen a mock trade yesterday of it was DeMar DeRozan, Trey Lyles, and
no, Trey Lyles out on the table. We need Trey Lyles.
okay, wait till you see what's coming back. It was the craziest trade I've ever seen.
He's still
DeMar
gonna say
DeRozan
no,
trade.
Penn. He gonna be like, no, we need
No.
Trey
I
Lyles.
guarantee
Jokic
you
coming back? No.
I guarantee he would. But
I
go ahead.
guarantee you're gonna say yes to this deal. Hang on.
No, he's not, Penn. I'm
Trey
telling you.
Lyles, DeMar DeRozan, and Kevin Huerter for Naz Reid, Jaden McDaniels, and Dante DiVincenzo. This is the craziest shit I ever seen in my life. I'm like, yo, Kings fans have lost their goddamn minds thinking how much DeMar DeRozan is worth.
Wait, so they'll keep Julius Randle and just add DeMar DeRozan?
Yes.
Is there a way we can do that trade and keep Trey Lyles?
See? Look at him trying to negotiate. Look at him trying to
Bro,
negotiate.
you getting Jaden McDaniels. I'm at a
Yeah,
point
nah,
right now
we
where I
would
think I
have
would
to
trade
trade
all
him.
three of those guys just to get one of those guys.
I'm telling y'all, like, even I know it sounds dumb, but I'm still not off DeMar DeRozan. It's just like we can't change our offense to cater to DeMar DeRozan. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing, and that's why I
Well,
said
welcome to the DeMar
bring-
DeRozan trap.
bring
Every team that he's
bring
ever
me-
been on changes their offense to cater to.
I
him.
didn't. Well, that's
they
what I'm
do.
saying. Like at the beginning of the season, Penn, I didn't think that we were gonna go out like that. I thought we were gonna keep playing our basketball and put DeMar DeRozan in there. I didn't know we was gonna just switch everything. You know what I'm saying?
Fox.
But
He's
I
not a
thought- I
system
thought- I
player.
thought- I
He
thought-
is the
I thought-
system.
I thought Mike Brown was gonna stand on his nuts. We need Mike D'Antoni.
Good.
All right, y'all. I'm jumping back into these super chats because it is 11:24 and I got somewhere
Now
to
he
be at
cares about
12.
my time.
Hey,
Now he cares
hey,
about
I'm
my
telling you, I wouldn't miss this for the life of me, Penn. And if you seen it, neither would you. Alan L said Luka's been a better defender than Jokic this season.
And
Yo,
Julius
Brown,
Randle.
what are you doing on Friday? I'm trying to tell you, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
We'll talk. I'll call you after my 12 o'clock. The Trib one said superstars sell themselves, by the way. Lakers in 6, by the way.
Prostitutes?
And I'm young, by the way. I've been slapping that recession lately. I need to play the recession, man. Listen to that.
Marcus
way-
FRM626 said, imagine being a 49ers fan. Ha ha ha. Poverty franchise.
That's what it sounds like. to
See
me.
your mama's
Yeah.
mama. That's where everybody's steady.
Superman Rio said, y'all are making the storylines. LOL.
Y'all are great at making storylines.
Y'all are great at making storylines. LOL. NBA, take notes.
Facts.
Good job,
I made a
man.
great
Good job,
storyline.
man.
When Jokic got Russ, I said it was because he was trying to prove he could do what KD and LeBron couldn't. That's a great storyline right there.
Cultured Kunta Bandit said, want both at the same time and bodily fluids? Hey, yo.
That was crazy. Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know what was going on with it. That was crazy.
Superman Real said, chill. Julius Randle is not that good. Top 100.
Top 100 what?
If
Oh, forwards. Maybe.
That's insane.
Oh my God.
So maybe he's around there. Like, top 160.
He's definitely a top 100 basketball player.
Worldwide Mace TV said, Swiper, just say you don't value defense. He doesn't have to say it. We know it.
Yeah, we know.
Drink More Water said, shout out to Caruso for his 4-year, $81 million extension.
Back in
fine.
my day, guys at Caruso would be making $6 million.
Bro, Caruso was making like $10 million last year.
Yeah, now he's gonna be making 20. What happened to the game?
That's the new NBA.
That's the problem, man. We trying to make all these guys too much money. They're not playing desperate.
Ulysses Ventura said, loves asshole?
Bro, you know how, bro. Ryan,
Explain yourself, Ox.
Well, I'll just be forgetting where I'm at sometimes. And so when
I'm showing solidarity with you, Octave.
Nah. Well, I mean, well,
All right, come on, we got to get up out of here.
got those too.
Um,
but I'm just saying is I'll be forgetting
You
where I'm
already
at
got that.
sometimes. I got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? Got to be careful.
You already showed that.
It's another one though, so I'm just
Oh, he sent it twice.
yeah.
Oh, so he doesn't even
Yeah,
want to wait. I don't know why he don't want to wait.
He adamant about that.
Yeah, he don't want to wait.
And last but not least, Mo said, Ron, give Harden his credit as well. Dub show. No. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. We got a draft coming up tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So
What are the drafts, Ron?
He won't tell us. We're gonna have to find out on the fly and then just
exactly.
That's why he's a bad host.
Nah, well, tomorrow we're gonna do the draft that he said let's do. Everybody gets one superstar, and then you gotta
Do we
build a
draft
team
our
based on
superstar
role
or
players.
we get given a superstar?
No. You draft your superstar, and then from there we got to pick role players.
Does
And
it have to be basketball drafts? Can we like draft like best Christmas movies or something? Or
I don't know Christmas movies.
Is this the longest panel episode ever?
No,
but we can make it.
No, we can't.
What's
'cause
the longest?
You
Let's
got
go for the
somewhere to
record.
be. Remember?
That's a fact.
Remember that?
I don't got
Remember that? Remember that?
nowhere to be for like another hour and a half.
I go somewhere to be like 28 minutes ago, but I just be committed to my
You're a
draft.
professional.
That's what's
Shout
up, man.
Too professional.
Shout out professionalism.
So what's up? We could do like something that's not necessarily basketball. Too.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I wouldn't be
on,
there that day. I'm just
Christmas
letting you know.
or
Leave,
Doesn't have to
leave,
be
Thursday.
Christmas
leave,
movie.
if y'all actually want to keep this going, leave Ox up here for 20 minutes. Let's talk the Aaron Fox trades.
Those
I
are
was
7
I'm
hours?
with that. No, I'm about that. I'm really.
Well, Merry Christmas, guys. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow.
So Ron, me and Pink can't talk about trades for a couple more minutes. You, didn't even
You know
kick
what?
me off. Ha.
Okay.
Y'all got it. See ya.
Okay.
All right, for sure.
Okay. He's gonna cut us off at the minute we make a point. But talk to me.
No,
about
hurry up.
Okay, what's going on with De'Aaron Fox? What are y'all feeling? And I'm hearing a lot of people saying
And this show is brought to you by PrizePicks, by the way. Before we get out of here, make sure you guys download
L
the app.
host.
Have you
God.
heard any mock drafts? I mean,
Any
not
mock
drafts,
trades?
any mock trades? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that one, but it's been a lot of Kings Twitter, being homers about what they think DeMar DeRozan and Domantas Sabonis are worth. But I've also seen some people undervaluing Domantas as well. Yeah, so I mean, number one, do you think De'Aaron Fox has to be traded?
I don't think he has to be traded, but if he wants to go, I'm
What do y'all
not mad
want
at him. I can understand where he's coming from, and that's the thing. I don't know who's available. I don't know. I don't really know. I wasn't expecting it, so that's why I'm just kind of wondering, like, what's been on the table. Like, to the Spurs, what could we possibly get from the Spurs that's worth De'Aaron Fox? You know what I'm saying?
I think it would be a pick-centered package around Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell. Right. I mean, with the Raptors, there was a report that the Raptors are pursuing De'Aaron Fox because they see a viable future between him and pairing him and Scotty Barnes, and apparently it was RJ Barrett plus Emmanuel Quickley plus picks.
Shit, I'm not mad at that. My thing is, if De'Aaron got to go, DeMar got to go too.
Well, that's exactly it. I'm looking at y'all defense, and that to me is a bigger problem than y'all offense. Now, if I was running the Kings, if I'm Monty McNair, I'm holding on to De'Aaron Fox. I'm trying to build this thing around him because he's by far my best player, and I'm looking to move the pieces around him. And I don't think you can have De'Aaron Fox, DeMar DeRozan, and Domantas Sabonis and Malik, because that's like 4 bad defenders. Kevin Huerter, that's 5. Keegan Murray has fallen off a little bit. He was supposed to be the overwhelming positive that just keeps you above water. You got Keon Ellis, who's a very good defender, one of my favorite players. So, like, I keep Keegan and Keon. I try to move off of DeMar and maybe Kevin Huerter and see what I can get for that.
I'm fine with that. My thing is, I think we should have pulled the trigger already last season, moving off of Kevin Huerter and those guys. We could have packaged Kevin Huerter and some guys to move. My only problem is, like I said, I think we're gonna have to get off for Trey Lyles too. If that trade you're talking about to Minnesota, if that's real, we have to do that.
It's not real.
Like, if we could do something like that, we would have to do that. But I don't know. I'm upset. I'm disappointed in De'Aaron right now, but I definitely don't want to trade him. And so if we could get something for DeMar just to keep it moving, then I'm cool with that. Put Kevin Huerter in there, but I do not want to trade De'Aaron Fox. I really don't. I would really hate to have to do that. But that Toronto move, I would rather have Quickley and RJ than Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson.
I hear that, and I'm looking at it from the Toronto side of it. I don't necessarily want to move off the 2 younger players and add a whole bunch of picks. But if it was just Quickley and RJ or De'Aaron Fox, a straight up swap with no picks, I might get on board with it, because I do think De'Aaron Fox is that much better than any one of those 2 players coming back. I don't know how that fits with the Kings, though. Y'all get 2 pieces that are worse than your main piece, and now you have more compromised defenders, because De'Aaron Fox is a better defender than those 2 guys. Quickly's not bad defensively. He's a good defender. He was a good defender in New York. I think he might fit in really well, but yeah, I don't know, man. I think this situation is going to spiral at the trade deadline, and if it does result in Fox getting traded, I don't know where y'all go, man, because I would hate to.
I would hate to trade De'Aaron, bro. Honestly, I do not want to do that. I hope we can work something out. And trading De'Aaron, we have to get back somebody that's ready to go right now, or else we're wasting Domantas Sabonis, because Domantas Sabonis is ready to win. We have to build that roster to win right now. I don't want to waste Domantas Sabonis' career. If it's something like that, we're just trading people, then let Domantas go too, and let's just rebuild. Because as much as I love my team, I would hate to see Domantas waste his career over with us.
Can you think of a team that could use Domantas Sabonis?
Everybody can use Domantas.
I mean, ideally, a team that has a salary to trade for him, a spot for him to play, and the competent defense at the rim that can kind of protect him. I see him like Karl-Anthony Towns a little bit. Like, I need to play a rim protector with him. I don't have a rim protector in Sacramento who can play major minutes.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. It sounds crazy, but if Minnesota had him instead of Julius, I think that'd be a lot better. You know what? Portland.
Portland's not looking to be good right now, and there's a really good, prize to be bad right now because of the 2025 draft is being, hyped, and Dylan Harper and Cooper Flag being as box office as they are. So I'm looking at it as like teams like Toronto, teams like New Orleans, teams like Washington, they're going to sell.
I see
So
somebody
maybe
say
y'all
Orlando,
can get
too.
something. Maybe y'all can get some defenders, because there was a defender who Portland got, Denny Avdia, that I think would have fit in beautifully in Sacramento. And I don't think he would have been that expensive either. So I think like whenever teams want to be bad, they sell their defense. I think Jakob Poeltl, Bruce Brown, guys like this, they'll be available.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, honestly, I don't even want to discuss a Domantas Sabonis trade. That'd be terrible. I would hate that. I would if somebody got to go between those two, it's got to be De'Aaron. Like I don't want Domantas to go anywhere.
So
We
prioritize
cannot get back.
Domantas over De'Aaron.
100%. Me personally, we can't replace Domantas Sabonis.
Okay, would you? What about a player like a package centered around a Jonathan Kuminga?
For who?
Domantas Sabonis.
Hanging up the phone so fast. I don't even.
Because I was thinking of like players that could fit, and where Domantas Sabonis would look really good, who might like him. And I was thinking Golden State would really like him. And they have the assets. They could potentially give you a bunch of first-round picks. They could probably give you a serviceable role player. What if they gave you Draymond and Draymond and no, I'm asking, like, what if they gave you Draymond and Kuminga?
Then it kind of goes both ways. Like if we trade Domantas for those guys, then we're wasting De'Aaron. You know what I'm saying? If we trade De'Aaron for like some picks and stuff, then we're wasting Domantas. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that's why I don't want to trade them. I would be more willing to trade DeMar, Keegan, Kevin, those guys, and we need to hold on to Domantas and De'Aaron. I don't think a lot of people
DeMar's
realize
value
how
right
good
now?
these guys are.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, it's like when I look at a player like, okay, so there was this old debate in Raptorland between Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby, and there was always this conglomerate of fans who always thought Pascal was a better player, which I agree with. He's a more talented player, but OG is the more valuable player, always.
Okay.
When you go around the league and you ask who needs this player, OG is always going to be, everyone needs OG Anunoby, right? Everyone don't need DeMar DeRozan.
Right.
There's very few teams that really want DeMar DeRozan. It comes with, there's like, I don't want to say baggage because he's a really great dude, but it comes with the baggage of now you got to restructure your offense around him. He's probably not going to want to come off the bench. He's this legacy guy that everyone respects. They end up feeding him the ball. He ends up getting the ball a lot down the stretch. Am I going to win basketball games to be playing that way? He's a bit of a defensive liability. He doesn't shoot the three ball. So there's all this baggage that comes with DeMar DeRozan. I don't think the Kings really thought about that when they went all in for him, because it's like, yo, respect DeMar DeRozan, the hooper, in isolation. But when you put DeMar DeRozan next to a whole bunch of non-defenders, it's a really bad situation, right? So now I'm looking at other teams. Well, that's like when you look at a player like Jalen Johnson or Zachary Risache, those players are hella portable because they fit in everywhere. Dyson Daniels fits in everywhere. OG Anunoby fits in everywhere because they play defense. But it's like the RJ Barrett mold or the DeMar DeRozan mold. It's a little bit harder to trade because not everyone can accommodate a non-defender.
Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, especially if we were going to change up our offense a little bit, I don't like the DeMar DeRozan move. I thought we were going to kind of keep it fast paced and keep moving, but with playing like this, I don't like the DeMar DeRozan move. I think where we messed up, well, not messed up. I think what really hurt us is when we were going after Pascal. I wanted Pascal from the beginning of the season, and then when he said that he probably wouldn't re-sign with us, so we didn't go after him. I just think that was terrible. I really wish that
he's
would
a terrible defender too. Y'all should have gone after OG Anunoby. If he would have signed, I mean, I don't know, but like if he would have signed, that would have been the move. Keegan Murray for OG Anunoby would have helped everybody, and Keegan's value was high enough at the time. The Raptors allegedly wanted Keegan in a Pascal trade, so they're obviously very high on him. And now, now we're seeing Keegan regress a little bit, which is always something you don't want to see with a third-year player, right? Especially when you were already old for your draft class. Like there's a lot of players in his draft class that are ascending right now that are like 3 years or 2 years younger than him. Like Jaden Ivey right now is playing better than Keegan Murray. I think we all agree on that, right?
I think Keegan Murray's regression has a lot to do with DeMar DeRozan.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I don't think he's
taking
got
a
to play
step back
basketball
from the offense. Yeah, I think it's just him taking a step back from the offense because DeMar's inserted there and kind of using him to step up on the defensive end where I don't think that's going to really hurt in the long run. Like I don't know how much longer DeMar DeRozan has, but Keegan, like you said, Keegan still knows how to play ball. You know what I mean? And he just got to snap out of it. Something's going on there. But if we had OG instead of DeMar, it would look so much different.
100%. And again, and that's why I say, like, casual basketball fans, they watch DeMar DeRozan, they watch OG Anunoby, they watch OG Anunoby can't dribble, you know, he can't cross over anybody, he doesn't do the midi turnaround, and they're like, this guy's a bum. I watched fans slander OG for years in Toronto because they just didn't respect, you know, they were like, oh, he's always falling over himself, he doesn't have 2 moves he can put together by himself. But it's like, look at all this other stuff this guy does. Every time there's a drive into the paint, there is like, the help is coming. It's OG. He scrambles out. He sometimes guards 3 players on 1 possession. He cleans up everything. He's such a valuable player. So I think y'all need a glue guy. I think one that's available is Bruce Brown. I don't know if y'all have the contracts to trade. I don't think the Raptors want a lot, but I think the Raptors, the Pelicans, there's some teams that have like some decent role players. And as the trade deadline comes, I think those players will become very, very cheap, like a couple of second-round picks. So maybe the Kings can still salvage this. And again, the analytics, which you don't like, say that y'all are supposed to have won 3 games that you lost.
More than that,
played well enough. No, I'm not talking about what.
6.
No, I hear what you're saying. I'm not talking about what Vegas said or what you were supposed to do. I'm saying based on the basketball that you're playing on the court. That the numbers are saying that y'all should have 3 more wins than you do.
Oh, right. What you and Mars was talking about from the back. Yeah. I get what you're saying. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think we're severely underperforming right now. I'm very disappointed.
That could be luck too. Like, I mean, you know, like sometimes, you know, like the ball doesn't bounce your way, so you underperform by 3 wins, and later on in the year you're back to 0 because the ball bounces your way 3 times when you win 3 games you shouldn't have won. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you win. I think you know, you play professional basketball. You know, sometimes you win a game that you weren't supposed to win.
100%. But this is the thing, though. This is the thing. It's still early. There's a lot of basketball left to play. I'm not ready to pack us up yet. I'm just very disappointed in how we're performing right now at this minute. But I think we can bounce back. But the answer is not trading De'Aaron Fox. That's just not the answer.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think that's what they're gonna do. But yeah, man, tough loss yesterday. But it was good to get some Kings talk out of the way. You know, when it was brought up earlier, I was like, I hope we get some time to go into in the show, and then it didn't happen. So I'm really glad that Ron allowed us to do this, man. Anyways, peace, man. I'm gonna talk to y'all later.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
See ya.